Chapter 1664. The next day, Su Yun told Bai Xiaoye about the bargain, and Bai Xiaoye couldn't accept it. Wasn't the difference too big? The 3-bedroom apartment she bought cost a few million, including the renovations and furnishings. Su Yun bought a villa for 10 million just by asking someone. It was only half the price. The house was 3 to 4 times bigger than hers, and it was fully equipped. The only villa in the entire neighborhood with a private pool was obtained just like that. Brother, I'm seriously mentally unbalanced right now. You must have a room for me in your villa. Bai Xiaoye was depressed. Can you ask your friend in the underworld if he can give me a discount on my house? Just half the price will do. You can even refund me the difference. That's enough for me to buy a good car. Su Yun shook his head and didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Do you know what businessmen like? Have you heard of the Pishio? It's a mythical beast that only enters and doesn't leave. Businessmen are the same as mythical beasts. They only eat and don't leave. If you want their fertile water to flow to other people's fields, you're daydreaming. Brother, aren't you disgusting? Bai Xiaoye was speechless. How can you make such a comparison? Why? Isn't it vivid enough? Do you want me to act it out for you? Su Yun laughed. No. Don't disgust me again. I just had breakfast. Are you going to make me vomit? Bai Xiaoye shook her head. Did you discuss this with Sister Shuang? Or did you decide to give her a surprise? Tell me, why did you listen to my advice this time? You got it right away and did it so quickly. I thought about it that night. I really don't have such a concept, home, Su Yun said. Our father abandoned me when I was young and was busy giving birth to you with our mother. Do you know how to chat? If you don't, then stay away from me. Bai Xiaoye rolled her eyes at Su Yun. Don't make it sound like I'm pampered. I've never seen such an unreliable old man. You have been abandoned since you were young. Was it because you were too ugly when you were born? Su Yun said seriously, don't stray from the topic. I'm talking to you about something serious. I'm talking about the feeling of home, you know? Bai Xiaoye shook her head. You're asking me? Who should I ask? My mother has never acknowledged me since I was young. She pretended to be a stranger to me. How can I feel like home? God knows what it feels like to have a home. Look. You're the same as me. We've never felt the warmth of home. That's why after you talked about this topic that night, I really wanted to find the warmth of home. Su Yun, we've been separated for many years, right? Although they have the same father but different mothers, they are still related by blood. If they get together, won't they have a family? Bai Xiaoye nodded vigorously. That was indeed what he meant. She also yearned for the feeling of home. So, did you reserve the room I asked you for? Not to mention a room, even if you want an entire floor, you can pick one. Su Yun said openly. Bai Xiaoye had a mysterious smile on her face as she shook her head. Don't ask for one floor. I'm already satisfied with just one room. You have to think about how you're going to allocate the rooms in your house. I'm afraid there's more than one person who wants a room like me. Su Yun was enlightened by Bai Xiaoye's words. But is this a problem? Forget it, there's no point in thinking so much. There will be a way when the time comes. You can think about this problem slowly. What should I do with my house? Bai Xiaoye asked with her chin in her hands. Give it to yourself as a dowry. Su Yun, also, if little mom wants to settle down in Qingdao in the future, won't she be able to live there? Do you think with my mother's status, she will live in a 3-bedroom apartment? Bai Xiaoye said with disdain. Let me tell you. After she knew that I was going to stay on Guqin Island, she must have sent people to look for a place with good feng shui. Who knows what kind of small palace she will build in less than 2 years? Su Yun nodded. What she said made sense. Then I'll reserve a room for you. You can also tell little mom to reserve a place for me in the small palace she wants to build. In your dreams. Bai Xiaoye snorted. I'm not going to argue with you anymore. I still have so many things to do. I'll take my leave first. After Bai Xiaoye left Su Yun's office, Su Yun also started his work for the day. It had been a while since he left Qingdao, and there were many documents that needed his signature. Moreover, the decision of one matter often led to another. Therefore, when Su Yun was busy, he couldn't stop at all. In the following days, Su Yun didn't think about Marty Franz Island anymore. He worked from 9 to 5 as usual. At night, he spent more time adjusting his qi. After his strength broke through the profound world realm, he started to feel that his qi was slightly insufficient. This was a very normal phenomenon. After entering the profound world realm, his state of mind had been cultivated to perfection. The true qi in his body started to transform into earthly evil qi to protect his body. This transformation process always made people feel that their qi was insufficient. The earthly evil qi required a large amount of true qi to accumulate and transform. Therefore, after entering the profound world realm, it was normal to feel that one's qi was insufficient. Only by adjusting one's true qi as much as possible every day could one ensure that the earthly evil qi was formed and strengthened day by day. After the transformation of the earthly evil qi to perfection, experts below the profound world realm couldn't hurt Su Yun's inner qi at all. This was the terrifying strength of an expert in the profound world realm. Of course, this was also a height that many people couldn't reach. Only those who had truly broken through to this realm could realize the importance of adjusting one's qi. Su Yun was able to deal with the changes in his body with ease because of the breathing and expelling method that Wang Yi taught him. Although Wang Yi himself hadn't reached this realm, he might have predicted that Su Yun would break through this limit sooner or later. The breathing and expelling method would become stronger when encountering a strong opponent. The stronger the person, the more powerful the breathing and expelling method would become. After a dozen or so days of adjustment, Su Yun felt that his protective aura had become even thicker and more complete. However, when he reached this level, he felt that he needed even more true qi to make the thick protective aura even thicker and more complete. This was a never-ending cultivation. As he adjusted his qi, this earthly evil qi would become more and more powerful. The busy work during the day and self-cultivation at night made Su Yun feel that time passed especially quickly. 10 days passed in the blink of an eye. The large villa that Shi Lei helped him scammed from Yang Zhan's hands was also finished with the materials. The renovation workers were all in place. Yang Zhan guaranteed that it would be completed in 45 days. Moreover, he guaranteed that all the materials would be environmentally friendly. The formaldehyde would definitely not exceed the standard. He took his bag and moved in. And on this day, when Su Yun came to the office, he saw a face that he hadn't seen for a long time. Tang Zhou? Why are you here? You didn't even give me a heads up. What, am I not welcome? Tang Zhou sat in front of Su Yun's desk and stood up with a smile. The feeling of being the CEO of a large corporation is really different. You've got style. Are you laughing at me? Su Yun smiled. It's really an honor for the CEO of the Tang Corporation to sit in my office. Tiske, CEO Tang, you're really becoming more and more like a queen. Your aura is so strong. You're no longer that unreliable little girl from before. You've changed, definitely changed. Tang Zhou couldn't hold back and laughed out loud. I realized that after you took over Sky Entertainment, you've really trained your mouth. It's like you've smeared it with honey. Why are your words so attractive? You've finally learned how to talk. Hee hee. Chapter 1665. The two chatted as they sat on the sofa. Su Yun boiled some water in the electronic kettle and took out the white tea that Ruan Qingshuang brought back last time. What brings you here? I'm flattered that you took time out of your busy schedule to visit me. I have to personally pour you a cup of tea to express my excitement. When did you become so sweet? It's so sweet that I'm not used to it. Tang Zhou smiled and said, Since you welcome me so much, shouldn't you prepare a seafood feast for me at noon? Of course, no problem. Su Yun, since you're here on vacation, I'll take care of the entire trip. I have to do my best as a host. I'm not that lucky to be here on vacation. I'm here on official business. Tang Zhou put away his smile and his expression turned serious. I came to find you because I need something from you. Will you help me or help me? Su Yun smiled. What's the situation? Why is President Tang asking me for help? I'm really interested to hear about it. You haven't heard about such a big thing? Qingdao is going to build the largest affordable housing community in the country. It's going to solve the housing problem of the residents whose living conditions are below the social security level, Tang Jiu said. You haven't heard about this? It's going to benefit the country and the people? Su Yun shrugged. He wasn't in the real estate industry and had just returned from Hawaii. Besides, he was already very busy with the Sky Entertainment Group. He didn't have time to pay attention to the real estate industry. They've built a lot of affordable housing, right? Are there so many residents living in the abyss of suffering on Qingdao? Su Yun. They're going to build the largest one in the country. There are indeed a lot of affordable housing, but there are loopholes in the previous policies and regulations, Tang Jiu said. Tang Jiu said, that's why there are so many problems with the affordable houses. How many affordable houses are bought by the rich? I'm afraid it's impossible to count. Su Yun was deeply touched by this. Luxury cars often appeared in affordable housing, such as Audi Q7, Panamera, Mercedes-Benz, and BMW. Such people naturally did not deserve to buy affordable housing. One of their cars could buy an apartment. But why should they buy it? This was a huge loophole in the supervision. The review staff of the Bureau of Housing and Urban Rural Development were not careful, or to put it bluntly, they were bribed. Therefore, even if they could see that the applicants did not meet the requirements, they still approved their applications. Then there were the relatives of the leaders. All sorts of aunts and uncles had applied for it. A good affordable housing district had directly become a district for the relatives of civil servants. This situation probably didn't just happen in a few cities in Huaxia, right? There were many cities that had similar situations. Actually, there's no need to build anymore. Check the previous ones carefully and deal with the problems properly. Vacate the houses. Su Yun. This is what we call saving construction materials for our motherland. If we build again, those bastards who took advantage of us will benefit. This is a phenomenon that you can never put an end to. Tang Jiu said, there's no other way. Since the country wants to build it, it has to be for the sake of the country and the people. You want to bid? Su Yun asked. Tang Jiu nodded. The real estate industry now is not as good as it was a few years ago. It's been severely tested and under pressure. If not for the Tang Corporation's diversified development, I don't know if I would have been able to hold on. Do it well. You'll definitely be able to hold on. I believe you have the ability. Su Yun, even if the real estate industry is not as hot as it was a few years ago, it's still an industry that needs to exist. Yes, that's right. That's why the competition in the real estate industry is very fierce. Tang Jiu said, if you don't have real ability and a good reputation, you'll be eliminated sooner or later. This is the reason why I want to bid for the construction of the economic housing estate. Su Yun understood what Tang Jiu meant. You want a good reputation. Yes, that's a good thing. I came with the intention of doing something that benefits the people. I want to benefit the people and let the Tang Corporation have a good reputation. After all, the Tang Corporation is capable. Tang Jiu said, as long as I can win this project, the Tang Corporation will be able to gain a firm foothold in the real estate industry. Su Yun knew what Tang Jiu was thinking. That's not easy. I'm afraid many real estate companies have this idea. Yes, many real estate companies have their eyes on this project, Tang Jiu said. Also, the company that wins the bid will be able to get a prime piece of land. If an office building is built in that kind of place, I believe it will be very popular. This is also the country's compensation and reward for the company that wins the project. Su Yun understood. Then, if you want to earn more from this project, you'll have to work hard on the construction cost? That's what I wanted to tell you. The quality of affordable housing in the country is generally poor because of this reason. Some real estate bosses are too greedy. In order to earn more money, they use the quality of the housing that affects the safety of the people to tamper with it. Tang Jiu was a little angry when he said this. That's why I'm bidding. If I win this project, I won't joke about the quality of the housing just to save 10 or 20 million yuan. Good. Su Yun slapped his thigh. Not because of anything else, but because of Tang Jiu's words, he had to help him. If the country had more construction bosses with a conscience like Tang Jiu, there wouldn't be so many shoddy construction projects. Just like the incident of Zhengzhou's West 3rd Ring Road, a two-way 8-lane highway with a design speed of 80 km per hour and a total investment of nearly 2.5 billion yuan, why did it always collapse and then collapse again and again? In half a year, it had collapsed 15 times in a row. No wonder Lao Bai said that if it was a newly renovated project, it could be called shoddy construction if it collapsed once or twice. But this kind of project that had been renovated and had collapsed 15 times in a row, it would be an insult to shoddy construction if you still called it shoddy construction. It should be called shoddy construction instead. It was too soft. As for the people in charge of the contractors and supervisors, they should be sentenced to a severe punishment. Drinking alcohol on the road was considered a dangerous driving crime because of the danger to society. What kind of crime was this? Was there no danger to society? It was too dangerous. These people should be shot. Then, who are your main competitors for this bid? Su Yun smiled. Do you need me to help you with anything? There should still be a main competitor. Tang Jiu said, have you heard of the Golden Coast Garden District in Qingdao? The developer there is my main competitor. Su Yun was stunned. Was Tang Jiu talking about that old Yong? That boss is called Yong Zhen. He has been in Qingdao for 2 to 3 years. He suddenly became a new force and everything went smoothly. He is very good at dealing with officials. Tang Jiu said, just the land in the Golden Coast Garden District. The price he paid for it was far lower than the real value of the land. I heard that this person has connections with both the government and the government. So, I think he must be your biggest competitor. How do you know that he will also bid? Su Yun asked. This is the louse on the bald head. It's obvious. Tang Jiu said, think about it. Who would not do something that can build a reputation and make a profit? Even I am tempted. How can he not be? Being able to get the land in the Golden Coast is enough to prove his ability. So, he will definitely participate in this. Su Yun nodded. That makes sense. If it were me, I would also participate in this. Fame and fortune. Chapter 1666. However, the situation was different now. Su Yun was still very confident in the people. Now that the slogan of tigers and flies flying together had been shouted out, no one would dare to go against the trend. Even if Yong Zhen had some connections with officials, it would not be very useful. If it's a fair competition, what are your chances of winning? Su Yun, we have powerful and domineering national leaders to lead and supervise us. If Yong Zhen wants to play tricks, I'm afraid it won't be as easy as before, right? Even if someone dares to protect him, they won't do it openly. How many chances do we have? Tang Jiu was still very confident about this. If it's a fair competition, I definitely have nothing to say. Everyone is on the same starting line. Whoever wins the bid has the most perfect design concept and is more considerate of the people. I'll definitely congratulate the successful bidder and believe that he has the ability to do this project well. What I'm worried about is that this fair competition can't be achieved. Su Yun was puzzled. Why do you think so? Is it an unwritten rule in your industry that there will be some unfair methods involved in any bidding? What do you plan to do? Participate in this and become a part of the unfairness? Don't talk nonsense. I'm not that kind of person. Because I received a piece of news. Tang Jiu said, it said that Yong Zhen has connections with both the underworld and the underworld. When he got the land on the Gold Coast, a local of Qingdao helped him a lot. That person is called Shi Lei. He's considered a big shot in Qingdao. Su Yun held back his laughter and glanced at Tang Jiu. You mean to say that you're afraid that he'll find people from the underworld to teach you a lesson? Threaten you to withdraw from the bidding? Maybe he's capable of doing that. But I'm really not afraid. Tang Jiu said, if he really dares to do that, I'll call the police. I don't believe that the police can't even handle this. If they can't handle it, it only means that they don't deserve the badge on their uniforms. Then tell me, if you're not afraid of this and that, what are you worried about? Su Yun said. Tang Jiu sighed, I'm worried about something big. Not only does Shi Lei, who has a good relationship with Yang Zhen, have a gang background, he also has another identity. Oh. Su Yun's curiosity was piqued. Tell me about it. The person in charge of this bid is Deputy Chief Shi of the Housing and Urban Rural Development Bureau. This Deputy Chief Shi is related to Shi Lei. Tang Jiu said, I spent a lot of effort to find out about this. Don't take it lightly. I see. Su Yun nodded. How do you want me to help you? Corrode the leaders with sugar-coated bullets? Or should I draw my sword with that underworld boss and tell him not to provoke you? If he dares to provoke you, I'll teach him a lesson. Tang Jiu drank a cup of tea. If I do that, wouldn't I be worse than Yang Zhen? That's not what I was thinking. I'm just thinking that if the other party really wants to threaten me, I'll feel safer with you by my side, Tang Jiu said. I'm not an unprincipled person. Su Yun laughed. Okay, I got it. This matter isn't as simple as you think. However, on the Guqin Island, no one dares to bully you. I can assure you of that. Yo, Director Su, it seems like you've made a fortune. You're so confident. Tang Jiu smiled. Then I'll have to rely on Director Su's help on Qingdao. Right, come, let's take a picture together. I'll set up the caller ID later. Su Yun took out his phone and said, Come, 1, 2, 3 eggplants. Tang Jiu didn't know whether to laugh or cry at Su Yun's nonsensical request. This guy was really crazy. Okay, I won't disturb your work for now. As for your seafood feast, leave it for now. I'm going to take a look at the scene first and then understand the situation. I'm not joking with you. Don't wait for me to eat. I've already made reservations for lunch and dinner. They're all important matters. Su Yun pursed his lips and joked. Yo, you've become Director Tang. You don't even have time to eat. You're putting on airs, aren't you? Haven't you heard the saying, today you ignore me, tomorrow I'll make you unworthy of me? Director Tang, go do your work. Come and see me when you think of me. You're heartless. The first thing I did when I came to Qingdao was to look for you. You're complaining that I don't care about you. Humph. Let's go. I'll find a bar tonight and treat you to a few drinks. Tang Jiu's alcohol tolerance was outstanding among women. Su Yun did this himself. Okay, I'll make a reservation and wait for you. Su Yun waved his hand and gestured for her to hurry up and do her work. After Tang Jiu left, Su Yun called Shi Lei. Brother Lei, 9:30 p.m. at Lon Gue Fong. I'll treat you to a few drinks. Don't refuse. Listen to me today. Okay. Shi Lei was always happy to receive a call from Su Yun. Brother Su Yun, I'll be there on time. After hanging up the phone, Shi Lei looked up and said to Su Yun, Old Yang, you really gave me face. I don't know how to thank you for the matter of Su Yun's villa. Today, I brought some tiger penis and deer antlers that I got in the northeast. Take them back and nourish your body. That's right. Shi Lei received a call from Yang Zhen early in the morning. Yang Zhen said that he wanted to talk to him about something, and Shi Lei said that he would come to his company to look for him. Yang Zhen was already overwhelmed by the unexpected favor, and now that Shi Lei brought something over, it made him feel even more embarrassed. Brother Lei, you're treating me like an outsider. This is what brothers should do. Yang Zhen said, I said that I was going to see you, but you're treating me like an outsider. I'm not treating you like an outsider. Shi Lei smiled. I didn't bring anything. It's just something to nourish your kidney. Ha ha ha, as long as you don't mind. Yang Zhen also laughed out loud. That's what I need the most. Brother Lei is the one who knows me best. Well, tell me why you're looking for me. There's no need to waste time between us brothers. It's a matter of a word, Shirley said straightforwardly. As long as I, Shirley, have the ability. Yang Zhen finally expressed his intentions. Brother Lei, this matter is really too easy for you. Heh, brother, I've heard of something, and it just so happens that Brother Lei can help me, so I shamelessly asked Brother Lei for help. What are you talking about? What do you mean by shameless? Say it. What can I do? Shirley said straightforwardly. I heard that Deputy Chief Shir of the Housing Bureau is Brother Lei's cousin. Yang Zhen said, Is this true? Or is it just a rumor? Oh. This is true, Shirley said. Shirley said. He realized that this brat Yang Zhen really had some ideas about him. No wonder he was willing to let him cut off 20 million and agreed to give the villa to Su Yun. Haha, shrewd. These businessmen are too shrewd. Yang Zhen's face showed a smile. That's great. Then we have no outsiders. We're all brothers. I'll have to trouble Brother Lei to make a call. Let's have dinner together tonight. Hey. My face is too thin. I can't invite Deputy Chief Shir. This guy really had something up. Shirley laughed. You haven't heard, right? Recently, the officials are being strictly investigated for eating and drinking. Although I know that Boss Yang invited him out of kindness, if this was seen by the people from the disciplinary inspection team, it would be hard to explain. Aren't we having a meal together as brothers? Haha, can't we have a meal together as family? Yang Zhen laughed dryly. That's why I still need Brother Lei to invite him. I'm just afraid that if I invite him, it won't be good. Chapter 1667. Shirley patted Yang Zhen's shoulder and said, Old Yang, it's not that I don't want to help you. If you knew my brother's personality, you definitely wouldn't have come to me to ask for help. Really, you definitely wouldn't have asked. No. I just feel that only you, Brother Lei, can step in. Deputy Director Shir might not give face to anyone, but he has to give face to you, Brother Lei. Yang Zhen said, even if it's not for the monk's sake, at least for the Buddha's sake. With Brother Lei stepping in, this matter will be much easier for me. I'm just afraid that I don't have the Buddha's face. Shirley said, Old Yang, you really don't know my brother's temper. Why do so many people want to be civil servants? The country's iron rice bowl. You won't starve to death for life. The benefits are good, and the treatment is good. Every week, you have 2 days off. Every few days, you can meet people fighting to pay the bill. Even if you don't meet someone who pays the bill, it's just a matter of signing a document. Yang Zhen laughed. Shirley was right. Yes. Otherwise, who would be stupid enough to take the civil servant exam with that little salary? We even have to give them something every now and then. They basically don't need to spend any money on food and drinks. When they go shopping, they also have supermarket shopping cards from us. Otherwise, why would so many young people want to take this exam? Shirley changed the topic. Old Yang, you're talking about some of them. Those are the civil servants that you've corrupted. Have you met anyone who doesn't fall for your tricks? Of course, some people are like the stones in the latrine pit. They're smelly and hard. They're like firewood, rice, oil, salt, soy sauce, vinegar, and tea. Nothing can move them. Speaking of this, Yang Zhen thought of a few people who were difficult to deal with. They're not rich, nor are they lustful. They don't like antiques either. These people are the hardest to deal with. Let me tell you, my brother in the Bureau of Housing and Urban Rural Development is the stone in the latrine pit you're talking about. He's smelly and hard. Shirley said. No. Yang Zhen hurriedly explained, I'm just making a metaphor. I'm definitely not referring to Deputy Director Shir. Brother Lei, don't misunderstand. Deputy Director Shir is so wise and powerful. How can he be compared to those people? Shirley laughed. Old Yang, there are no outsiders here, so I can't say these things to him. Don't worry about your bold analogy. I really think that your analogy is not bad. He is a guy who is unmoved by force or persuasion. If you want to corrupt him, you have to have the ability to corrupt the rocks in the latrine pit. Yongzhen laughed dryly. Wasn't this nonsense? He knew in his heart how difficult it was to deal with Deputy Bureau Chief Shi. Otherwise, he wouldn't have endured the pain of losing 20 million yuan. Yongzhen definitely couldn't take this stab for nothing. No matter what, he had to get the compensation back. Brother Lei, since you've said so, then all the more I can't contact Deputy Director Shi myself. Haha. That would seem like I'm undermining the integrity of the party and government. Of course, Yongzhen wouldn't give up on his idea. But Brother Lei is different. Brother Lei and Deputy Director Shi are family, right? Old Yang, you don't have to say much. I know what you mean. Shi Lei said, but I can only help you as much as I can, okay? Yongzhen's face was full of smiles. So, Brother Lei agrees to help me make an appointment with Deputy Director Shi? Shi Lei quickly waved his hand. No, no, no. I can't agree to this. I can't corrupt my own family. Otherwise, I'll be dragging my brother down. This matter can't be done by him. Brother Lei, what do you mean? Shi Lei said, we still have to find another way for this matter. Shi Lei naturally understood this saying. Although he didn't want to get involved in Yongzhen's matter, after all, Su Yun's matter had just made Yongzhen suffer such a big loss. If he didn't do something about it, it would really be ungentlemanly. Although Shi Lei wasn't an unpardonable evil person, his role was still a bad guy after all. He was also the biggest boss in Qingdao. He had to pay attention to it. Otherwise, his reputation would be ruined. Although Shi Lei wouldn't involve others in this matter, he would definitely come forward to solve it himself. It's enough for me to help you with this matter. Brother Lei, you mean? When Yongzhen heard that there was still a chance, he immediately became spirited. With Boss Yang's strength, you have enough qualifications to win the bid. You're just worried that there will be other dark horses, right? Shi Lei said, this is like what you said yourself. Everyone wants to take a bite of a good thing that benefits both fame and fortune. Yongzhen nodded. That was what he meant. He still had a certain amount of strength, but he didn't have 100% confidence, which made him feel uneasy. What he wanted was 100% confidence. Then this matter is simple. If others take the initiative to withdraw during the bidding, then you have a sure win, right? Shi Lei said. Of course. Yongzhen nodded frequently. As long as Shi Lei could help him, he would treat Shi Lei like his own father. Shi Lei smiled. Then I'll talk to other bidders. This matter may be solved. Without competitors, Boss Yang can have a sure win, right? Yongzhen suddenly understood. Oh, I understand. Brother Lei, you mean you can help me solve it? Ha. Ha ha ha. Brother Lei, my brain is far inferior to yours. With Brother Lei's words, I feel much more at ease. Shi Lei looked at the elated Yongzhen. Old Yang, this matter isn't something to be proud of. Why am I doing this? You know very well in your heart. Brother Lei, this is called being particular. Chapter 1668. When it was close to 9 o'clock in the evening, Tang Jiu finally finished his business. After he finished, he immediately contacted Su Yun. Tang Jiu had a driver, and Su Yun was too lazy to drive. He asked Tang Jiu to order someone to come back, then he drove him to the bar. Is it because you haven't found a drinking opponent, so you're itching to drink? Tang Jiu asked with a smile after they arrived at the destination. Yes, it's been a long time since I met a drinking opponent. Su Yun, let's drink until we're drunk. Since you're here, you should release some of your stress. Don't be shy, I can still afford to treat you to some drinks. Tang Jiu joked, do you have any impure motives? We haven't even opened the bottle, and you want to drink me? Hey, Su Yun, I'm not that kind of girl. If you have such thoughts, I won't drink with you. Who has such thoughts? I think you're thinking too much. Su-yun didn't know whether to laugh or cry at Tang Jiu's words. I'm afraid that you'll be under too much pressure from work, surrounded by your uncles and brothers, so I brought you out to relieve pressure. Do you want to drink? If not, I'll get someone to send you back. Of course, I'm already here. Besides, my alcohol tolerance isn't something you can handle so easily. Tang Jiu said, As for my uncles and brothers, you don't have to worry. They're all very obedient now. I'm not sure if it's because of my forceful methods, but I'm sure you still have some influence. Su-yun nodded and expressed his satisfaction. That's good. At least they know what's good for them. If they don't behave and have other thoughts, I'll help you teach them a lesson later. The two chatted as they entered the bar. Su-yun had already asked his assistant to book a booth, and the waiter immediately brought them there. Soon, the drinks that Su-yun ordered were served, accompanied by various glasses. It seemed like he really wanted to get drunk with Tang Jiu. However, Su-yun wasn't in a hurry to drink. He glanced at the door from time to time. Of course, Tang Jiu noticed. Why? You have other friends? Yes. Su-yun, I'm meeting a friend. He did me a big favor a few days ago, so I wanted to thank him. So, is this a treat for me or for your friend? Tang Jiu said, Oh, I know. I'm here to accompany you, right? What did that friend of yours do for you to give him so much face? You even brought a beauty of my level to accompany you as a drinking girl? Su-yun raised 2 fingers. That saved me 20 million. No wonder. I'll definitely have a good drink with him later. Tang Jiu said, but let's make things clear first. Don't be the kind that's careless. If that's the case, I can splash wine on you and leave at any time. Don't worry, he wouldn't dare. Su-yun smiled bitterly. This girl really thought too much. I'm not that kind of person. Otherwise, I wouldn't dare to bring you here. And I'm not asking you to accompany me. Shirley did not want to leave such an impression on Su-yun, so he got out of the car and started jogging. However, even if he was in jogging mode, he was still late by about 10 minutes. The moment the panting Shirley appeared at the entrance of the bar, he was recognized by quite a few people. The underlings who worked as security guards in this place all knew him. Each of them respectfully called him Big Brother Lei. They were also puzzled as to when this Big Brother Lei would come to a bar. Shirley's appearance indeed attracted a lot of people's attention. The bar owner immediately prepared a bottle of Royal Salute. When Shirley went to the seat, he would immediately send it up to show his sincerity. At this time, no one noticed that Su-yun and Tang Jiu were surrounded by a group of men and women. They were very hidden in the noisy bar. No one noticed. You tell me, what are you showing off for? My girlfriend wants to come here and have a drink with you. That is giving you face. How can you be so shameless? A young man who rolled up his sleeves, revealing a coiling dragon tattoo on his arm, pointed at Su-yun fearlessly. Su-yun really didn't know whether to laugh or cry. He was just sitting there and doing nothing, yet he could get into trouble. Just because the girl came to him and wanted to have a drink with him and was rejected by him, her friends at the table were unhappy. They felt that they were being looked down upon. Tang Jiu wasn't a person who was afraid of trouble. He said disdainfully, Your girlfriend? Then why don't you look better? Can't you see that your girlfriend wants to have sex with him? Why? You're not happy that he rejected you? Do you have to be cuckolded in order to live your life? Aya, this little sister, your mouth is really poisonous. So what? I'm willing to be cuckolded. The young man with the tattoo said unhappily, Why? You're his girl? Then, Big Brother will let this kid be cuckolded in his head today. Sister, come and play with Big Brother tonight? I guarantee that you'll feel good. Wah! Tang Jiu splashed a glass of lemonade on the face of the young man with the tattoo, directly blocking the latter half of his sentence. You dare to hit me, B*TCH. The young man with the tattoo gritted his teeth in anger. But at this time, the brothers beside him suddenly withdrew their arrogance and aggressiveness, and all of them became listless. The young man with the tattoo was stunned. He felt that something was wrong behind him. When he turned around, he saw Shirley with a gloomy face. Who in the underworld didn't know Shirley? Even a small delinquent like him would know him. But at his level, he wasn't even fit to carry Shirley's shoes. His legs went soft and he was about to fall. Chapter 1669. In the nightclub, Shirley was the only person who could have this kind of aura. However, with Shirley's identity, he was really not a regular customer of this kind of place. He was not used to coming here. Even the people in the underworld were divided into different grades. The gap between the gangsters and the underworld bosses was still very obvious. In Qingdao Island, Shirley could almost be called the Godfather level. How could he still often come to this kind of ordinary bar? Those special high-class clubs were the places he often went to. Only Su Yun could invite Shirley to a place like Lan Gui Fong to drink. If others dared to do this, it was basically tantamount to a mouse adding to the cat's nest. They were purely looking for excitement. Su Yun was different. Su Yun was a serious businessman. It was normal for him to go to a bar to relieve pressure at night. It was because Shirley would be accustomed to accommodating Su Yun from the bottom of his heart that he would not feel that it was beneath his status to come to this kind of place. Those who did not know him and had never heard of him naturally would not think anything of him when they saw him in this kind of place. However, those who mingled in the underworld and wanted to make a living in the underworld would think something of Shirley when they saw him. Yes. Brother Lei. The tattooed young man who was showing off in front of Su Yun just now couldn't believe his eyes. This was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. If he could get a little support from Shirley, then he could really use Shirley's power to show off everywhere in the future. Shirley's gaze was very impatient as he glanced at the young man. He was very angry. After all, he saw the young man pointing fingers in front of Su Yun. He simply ignored the young man and asked Su Yun, "Brother, is this kid looking for trouble with you?" As soon as he heard this, the tattooed young man suddenly became silent. It's over. This pretentious guy hit a wall. No wonder he was so calm. It turned out that he was Shirley's man. For a moment, the young man did not know how to explain. The guys who were behind him with an imposing manner also wanted to slip away dejectedly. Now, as long as Su Yun gave the word, Shirley would be able to torture this group of hooligans to death. The tattooed youth was prepared to be ruthlessly beaten up. He lowered his head and waited to be beaten. However, Su Yun played it down and said, "It's just a small misunderstanding. Don't bother with them. Take a seat, Brother Lei. I'm waiting for you." Shirley admired Su Yun's breadth of mind. It was absolutely as broad as the sky and the sea. I really have to apologize for this matter. Brother, look at the sweat on my forehead. There was a traffic jam over there. I ran over here because I was afraid that I would be late. But I'm still a step too late. I accept my punishment. With that, Shirley poured himself a cup of wine and downed it in one gulp. The tattooed young man who was waiting to be beaten was completely dumbfounded. Who the hell was this guy? To be able to make Shirley apologize to him and drink as a forfeit? He had gotten himself into big trouble this time. Why are you still standing here? Didn't you hear my brother telling you to scram? What happened? Do you want me to give you a toast before you leave? Shirley turned around and glared at him unhappily. At this time, a few brothers in charge of the bar security quickly came forward and dragged him away. In the end, the tattooed youth's head was still buzzing. He had no idea what had happened. "Brother Lei, this is the wine that our brother Song sent to you." Just as the people on the other side stopped, someone here delivered a bottle of wine. "Do you have any other requests?" Shirley looked at the table of wine that Su Yun had already ordered and waved his hand. "Then pass a message to your brother Song." "Thank you." "Brother Lei, you're too polite." Su Yun looked at Shirley with a smile. "Brother Lei's face is big. You're so supportive no matter where you go. Come, for Brother Lei's face, I'll give you a toast." I'm already late. I should be punished with 3 cups. "Brother, you're really giving me face if you don't make a fuss about it. Shirley immediately raised his cup in response. People in the underworld all drank freely. Otherwise, how could they be a boss? Tang Jiu saw this and also raised her cup. Looking at you guys, you're not planning to drink with me? Let's drink together. Su Yun and Tang Jiu clinked their cups. Tang Jiu also downed her cup in one gulp. This amount of wine was nothing to her. That was pure whiskey. There was nothing mixed with it. Even a man would feel a little strong after drinking it, let alone a girl. Shirley was shocked. Brother Su Yun, this is my brother, Iron Magnet. Su Yun, you can just call her little Jiu. She's probably still drinking. Brother Lei, don't underestimate her. Since Su Yun had said this, Tang Jiu naturally had to express her gratitude. She directly poured a cup of wine and said to Shirley, Brother Lei is Su Yun's friend, so he's also my friend. I'll drink this cup first as a toast. As she spoke, she downed another cup. This boldness was completely different from her youthful and pure beauty. I've drunk so much that I don't dare to accept the challenge. Shirley laughed. Although he said that he didn't dare to accept the challenge, he still downed his cup in one gulp. He couldn't lose face, especially in front of a little girl. However, Tang Jiu soon let him know what it meant to drink wine like water. Brother Lei, I didn't ask you out for anything else today. Let's drink together and relax. I also want to express my gratitude to you for that day. Su Yun, I think this place is more open than those high-end clubs. You and little Jiu usually go to those high-end clubs. Occasionally, you come to this place for commoners to experience the joys of life. Brother, I like to drink with you. I don't have to pretend to be a person at all. Ha ha ha. After a few cups of wine, Shirley was able to speak freely. As the three of them drank and chatted, Shirley quickly realized that the relationship between this little nine miss and Su Yun was very strong. The two of them could even drink a cup of wine together, and this little nine did not dislike Su Yun at all. Although the two of them did not have any intimate actions, Shirley still concluded that the relationship between the two of them was quite special. Under this special relationship, Shirley paid more attention to his words. Fortunately, little Jiu was also forthright. She was quite knowledgeable in her speech. At first glance, he could tell that she was a person who had seen the world. Obviously, Shirley thought too much. This was an obvious problem. How could the people who knew Su Yun not be people who had seen the world? People who were so familiar with Su Yun were definitely not ordinary people. What was Su Yun's identity? The women around him were naturally not simple. Throughout the night, Su Yun didn't mention anything about the economical room, nor did he mention what Tang Jiu did. He also didn't mention his relative, Deputy Director Shi. It seemed that Su Yun's only purpose was to let Shirley remember Tang Jiu's appearance. Shirley also had a deep impression of Tang Jiu. Tang Jiu was the best drinker he had ever seen in his life. She could drink 3 bottles of foreign wine without any problem. Her behavior and speech were still the same. Later, Shirley drank until his tongue was swollen, but she was still fine. Shirley was really convinced. He admitted defeat. This girl was amazing. Of course, Su Yun was even more amazing. He drank glass after glass as if he was drinking soft drinks. After finishing the last glass of wine, Shirley could barely open his eyes. Su Yun helped him out of the bar. The underling at the door had been waiting. When he saw Shirley drinking so much, he was dumbfounded. Brother Lei was known as Brother Lu Jin. He could drink an entire box of 52-proof white wine. Send Brother Lei home safely. Su Yun instructed the underling and asked them to leave immediately. Then, he got into Tang Jiu's car and asked the driver to send them back to the movie hotel. After returning to the hotel, Su Yun was even more determined to move out of the hotel as soon as possible. This was because he had people coming to him every few days. Moreover, they were all different genders. It was easy for people to misunderstand. Take the girls at the front desk for example. They were always sneaking glances and whispering. It was so embarrassing. Little did he know that the girls were all whispering about why they weren't so lucky and couldn't win his love. Chapter 1670. Although Tang Jiu drank quite a lot today, she definitely didn't drink too much. After returning to Su Yun's suite, she complained that she wanted to take a shower. After all, she was a girl. She didn't like the smell of cigarettes and alcohol, so she lay on the bed. Su Yun brewed a pot of tea and sat on the sofa to watch TV. After about an hour, Tang Jiu walked out with a towel wrapped around her body and her wet hair. "Can we be more reserved and wear more clothes? I drank so much. Aren't you afraid that I can't control myself?" Su Yun joked. "Don't treat me like a man." Tang Jiu snorted. "If I didn't understand you, I wouldn't go back to your room with you. Even if you have the heart, you don't have the guts. Even if you have the guts, you can't cross your own bottom line. So, you're just a... Forget it, I'm too lazy to talk about you. If you dare, I'll lose my chastity long ago." Su Yun was speechless. He was completely speechless. "Fine, you have a sharp tongue. You really don't take me seriously. Didn't I say that we're brothers?" "We're magnets," Tang Jiu said. "As for me, I was a little interested in you in the past. But later, I realized that we're not suitable for each other. It's more suitable to be brothers." No wonder. When Su Yun saw Tang Jiu this time, he felt that Tang Jiu wasn't as shy as before. She was more like the Tang Jiu he first met. It seemed that she had seen through some things and understood some things. This was good. For Su Yun and for her, it was a good relief. After all, that kind of indescribable feeling was the most confusing. Su Yun finally didn't have to worry and be afraid of hurting Tang Jiu's feelings. "With your words, I really should drink with you more today," Su Yun said. "If I drink more, I'm afraid that I won't be able to control myself. What if I burn with desire at night and do something to you? Wouldn't it be too easy for you?" Tang Jiu smiled beautifully. "If you want to drink, open another bottle of red wine and drink. I'm not drinking with you anyway. It's boring to drink alone." Su Yun shook his head. Tang Jiu lay down on the bed and stretched comfortably. "You sleep on the sofa and I'll sleep on the bed. Don't snore at night, or I'll stuff your mouth with socks." "Sure, I promise I won't even be out of breath," Su Yun said. Tang Jiu sat cross-legged on the bed and said to Su Yun, "Who was that big brother tonight? You must be a gangster, right? He seems to be someone of high status." Su Yun nodded. "Not bad. I'm quite popular on the Guqin Island." "Then what do you mean?" Tang Jiu said, "This. I think, whether it's you and me going for a drink or you and him going for a drink, it's better if we go alone. You brought me along and called him over. What's the meaning of this? Introduce me to that big brother?" Su Yun smiled. He couldn't tell that Tang Jiu was still thinking about this matter. "Then, do you think that's what I meant? Who knows what kind of ideas you have in your head?" Tang Jiu shook his head. "But you didn't formally introduce me to him." "I don't want to talk to you. Seeing that we had a good time drinking tonight, I won't argue with you. Su Yun, as long as you're happy. Don't think too much about other things. As for you guys, it's enough that you're familiar with each other. What are you up to?" Tang Jiu couldn't see through him at all. "You don't need to know. You just need to rest well tonight and prepare the materials needed for the bidding. You're more professional than me in this aspect, so I won't say much. Su Yun, you're already on the Guqin Island, which means the bidding is about to start. I know very well that when your assistants and secretaries arrive, it'll be a real battle." Tang Jiu stuck out his tongue. "You're smart. I came early to attend to some small business. Then, I'll stay here for the rest of the day." At this moment, Su Yun's phone rang. It was Lin Gu. "Brother, I saw Tang Jiu's car in the hotel's parking lot. You guys are back?" "Yeah, we're back. Come on up," Su Yun said. "No, I don't want to go up. It's inconvenient." "You can come down. I'll go home after talking to you." Fengye is waiting for me at home, Lin Gu said. Su Yun looked at Tang Jiu wrapped in a towel and sitting cross-legged on the bed. It was indeed inconvenient. He couldn't stand the image. Wait for me. Who is it? It's so late, Tang Jiu said. Pigeon. He wants to talk to me about something. I'll go downstairs for a while, Su Yun said. Tang Jiu wanted to ask him to come up, but when he looked at his clothes, he didn't say anything. Come back quickly. Take the time to shower and go to bed. Otherwise, you'll wake me up when I fall asleep. Okay, got it. After saying that, Su Yun stood up and left. Su Yunhui arranged for Tang Jiu and Shi Lei to meet face to face. That was all with a purpose. After learning about the competition for affordable housing, Su Yun realized that Yang Zhan would definitely use Shi Lei to get close to Deputy Director Shi. He immediately asked Lin Gu to investigate Deputy Director Shi. In the end, Lin Gu came back with an answer that surprised Su Yun. He said that Deputy Director Shi was definitely a model of serving the people. He had always been honest and upright. After being an official for so many years, he was still empty-handed. He was strict with his subordinates. Such an upright person would definitely not be moved by sugar-coated bullets. After knowing this, Su Yun was relieved. He believed that even if Yang Zhan used Shi Lei, it would be difficult for him to move Deputy Director Shi. As long as Deputy Director Shi, who was in charge of the bidding, was fair, Su Yun was relieved. However, Su Yun thought of another problem. In order to get the villa for him, Shi Lei must have felt guilty towards Yang Zhan. If Yang Zhan used this favor to ask for his help, Shi Lei wouldn't be able to refuse. However, Su Yun couldn't ask Shi Lei not to help Yang Zhan. That would make it seem like he was burning the bridge after crossing the river. Moreover, the one who was in trouble was Shi Lei, not Yang Zhan. In the end, Su Yun thought of a way to let Shi Lei know Tang Jiu. This way, if Yang Zhan couldn't get help from Deputy Director Shi, he would definitely ask Shi Lei to help. Shi Lei was a gangster, and his methods were definitely not honorable. If he wanted to do something to the Tang Corporation, he would know Tang Jiu's relationship with him and naturally know what to do. He wouldn't make things difficult for Tang Jiu. This was Su Yun's goal. However, in order to confirm that Deputy Director Shi was an honest and upright person who served the people, Su Yun asked Lin Gu to bring all kinds of gifts and disguise them as real estate agents to pay a visit. In the end, Lin Gu waited at 5:30 p.m. at the Housing Bureau, wanting to follow Deputy Director Shi to his house to give gifts. Unexpectedly, Deputy Director Shi was very busy because of the affordable housing matter. Everyone in the unit had left work, but Deputy Director Shi was still working overtime until 10:30 p.m. He didn't even eat before leaving the unit. Only then did Lin Gu have the opportunity to follow Deputy Director Shi all the way to his house. When Lin Gu knocked on the door with a grand gift and explained his intentions, he was immediately met with a harsh door slamming in his face. Not only did Deputy Director Shi not accept the gifts, he didn't even invite him in. Instead, he gave Lin Gu a harsh lesson at the door, saying that it was because of people like him that the integrity of the party and government was destroyed. He also told him that with his crooked thinking, the affordable housing he built would also be crooked. Therefore, he definitely wouldn't consider his company. Fortunately, Lin Gu just casually made up a company name and didn't harm anyone. After Lin Gu was scolded by Deputy Director Shi, he brought the gifts back and reported to Su Yun dejectedly. With such an honest and upright official, the bidding for the affordable housing will definitely be fair and just. After hearing Lin Ji's words, Su Yun was relieved. He could only help Tang Jiu with this much. The rest would depend on the strength of the Tang Corporation. If there was a better choice than the Tang Corporation, Su Yun wouldn't feel sorry for Tang Jiu. After all, the affordable housing was for the benefit of the common people. Therefore, all the interests of the common people had to be considered. Chapter 1671. By the time Su Yun returned to her room upstairs, Tang Jiu had already fallen into a deep sleep. She was quite tired from a day of socializing, and the alcohol she drank at night made her fall asleep before Su Yun returned. Su Yun covered her with a quilt, then went back to his sofa. After his home was renovated, no one would need to sleep on the sofa anymore. Su Yun had also drunk quite a bit at night. Tang Jiu was also asleep, so there was no one to chat with her. She hurriedly took a shower, then curled up on the sofa and slept until dawn. The next morning, Tang Jiu received a notice from the Bureau of Housing and Urban Rural Development. The bidding conference was scheduled to be held tomorrow at the Bureau of Housing and Urban Rural Development. All the real estate companies that were qualified to participate in the affordable housing construction were notified. This meant that the applications they submitted at the beginning had been approved and received feedback. It also meant that the real estate companies that participated in the bidding conference were all powerful and recognized by society. Of course, Yang Zhan's company was also on the list of the 5 major real estate companies. After all, he had an outstanding project in Qingdao, the Golden Coast Garden District, so it wasn't surprising that he was on the list. Now, the competitive strength of the 5 real estate companies was about the same. Although the Tang Group was stronger overall, it was because of its diversified development. It didn't just focus on real estate. The other companies were different. They relied on real estate. In addition to Yongzhen, Tang Jiu felt that another strong competitor was Huang Zhima. Huang Zhima's company could be considered the largest real estate company in the northern city of Qingdao. He had done a lot of work in Qingdao over the years, so he was also a strong competitor. As for the remaining 2 real estate companies, they might be slightly weaker. It wasn't that they weren't strong enough, but they hadn't done any projects in Qingdao. Now that they suddenly came over to take a share of the pie, they weren't familiar with the local leaders or local gangsters, so they really didn't have any advantages. Facing Yongzhen and Huang Zhima, Tang Jiu didn't have much confidence. Who knew what these 2 people would do? In fact, the tricks had already begun. After Yongzhen and Huang Zhima received the news, they immediately started to resist the others. Because Yongzhen and Huang Zhima were one from the south and the other from the north, the 2 of them had a tacit understanding to not oppose each other. Instead, they analyzed the other 3 competitors. These 3 competitors were not local real estate companies. They must have come here by car to attend the bidding conference. They knew very well how many highway exits there were in Qingdao. In a tacit understanding that didn't need to be expressed, the 2 of them used Lisong District as the boundary between Chu and Han. Each of them took half of the highway's exit. With Shirley's support, Yongzhen's men were stationed at every highway junction. These people were all under the banner of leading the way. Many foreigners knew that the broken roads on Guqin Island did not have a proper north or south. It was very difficult to distinguish and remember the directions even after 3 to 5 times. Therefore, there were often old men who had nothing to do at the exit of the Qingdao Expressway. They would hold a small sign with the words, "Lead the way," written on it. You give him money, and he'll give you directions in the car. Go left, go right, go forward, and go back. He'll take you to where you want to go. It's even better than a GPS. But now wasn't the time for them to make money. Shirley's men chased away these guides the moment they arrived. As long as a car alighted and they saw that it was a foreign brand, the lackeys would immediately ask if they needed to lead the way. If it was a competitor's car, they would definitely ask them to lead the way to the housing bureau. This way, they would be able to control everything. With Shirley's intervention, Yongzhen's heart was filled with confidence. He believed that Shirley would definitely be able to settle this matter quietly. On the other side, there was still Huang Zhima. He was also assured that he would be able to deal with the foreign competitors. In the end, perhaps only Yongzhen and Huang Zhima would be left to fight it out. But Yongzhen was still confident. Because compared to Huang Zhima, he still had an advantage. Even if Huang Zhima had brought a fierce dragon with him, Shirley would always be the local tyrant on Guqin Island. Everyone had heard of the simple saying that a strong dragon could not suppress a local tyrant. This saying wasn't something that could be casually said. How complicated was the social network of a local tyrant? Even a strong dragon would be entangled to death if he wasn't careful. Besides, Deputy Bureau Chief Shi and Shirley were relatives. If things didn't go well in the end, even if he didn't say anything, Shirley would definitely say something. More or less, this would have a certain impact. Obviously, everything was ready except for the east wind. Yongzhen's heart was filled with pride. Obviously, their judgment was correct. After receiving the notice, the companies that participated in the bidding hurriedly rushed over. They all arrived at Qingdao before the sky turned dark. One batch was intercepted by Huang Zhima, while the other batch was intercepted by Yongzhen. This method of leading the way was really useful. A fleet of cars stopped beside Shirley's trusted subordinate and asked him to bring the cars to the Bureau of Housing and Urban Rural Development to take a look. Then, he would recommend a place to stay near the Bureau of Housing and Urban Rural Development that could provide food and lodging for more than 20 people. "Yo, brother, why are so many of you going to the Housing Bureau?" The shrewd subordinate had a brain. "We're here to seek benefits for the people of Qingdao. We're here to do an affordable housing project." The other party obviously didn't think too much and just said it casually. The shrewd subordinate immediately got into the car. "Since you're here to seek benefits for us, I'm embarrassed to ask you for more money. How about this? I usually charge 200 for leading the way. Today, I'll charge you 100. Even if you only have 4 or 5 cars, I won't ask for more." Don't, young man. Hurry up and take us there. 200 it is. Besides, we have a lot of cars. You're not getting a bargain." Just like that, Shirley's subordinate directly took these few cars to a remote mountain ditch. By the time these people had doubts, it was already too late. After the cars stopped, they were quickly surrounded by Shirley's people. Shirley was a very straightforward person. He went straight to the point. "I know why you came to Qingdao, but you'd better not waste your time on the bidding for the affordable housing. It's not too late to give up and go back. Otherwise, if you go to make trouble tomorrow, even if you can't get the project, I won't let you leave Qingdao so easily." "Who are you?" "In broad daylight, you're too bold." One of the cars was a Mercedes-Benz. A short but energetic middle-aged bald man got out of the car. "Let me tell you, Huaxia has its laws. We came to participate in the bidding because we were invited. It's our right. No one can use any means to force me to retreat or leave." It was obvious that this was a leader. Otherwise, he wouldn't be so bold. Shirley was too lazy to be long-winded. He directly asked his subordinate to pass him a fake Type 54 pistol and strode forward. His actions had completely baffled the other party's men. The other party obviously also brought security and bodyguards, but they couldn't withstand Shirley's subordinates. They swarmed forward and held them down. Shirley easily came in front of the middle-aged man who was angry just now. Without saying a word, he directly pointed the pistol at his temple. The other party was instantly stunned. The momentum just now disappeared in an instant. "If you think that I can't force you to leave, then don't leave. Stay here forever. The place I picked for you is not bad. Although it's a bit remote, it's quite quiet. Later, I'll ask my subordinates to dig a bigger hole for you. You'll have a lot of space to lie down. You won't feel suffocated. Good man, we're all trying to make a living. If you have something to say, let's talk it out. If you like this bid, I'll give up." The other party quickly gave a satisfactory answer. Although he didn't know whether Huang Zhima's side was successful, Yongzhen knew that his side was very successful. However, he still had a question. The person he arranged to listen to the news told him that Huang Zhima's side only stopped one real estate company, and Shirley's side only stopped one company. What about the other company? Little did he know that when the other company saw the "ask for directions," they asked, "How to get to the Movie and Television Grand Hotel? Can you take us there?" This was a team from the Tang Group. They wanted to go to the Movie and Television Grand Hotel to find President Tang because he had already arranged a room for them. There was no need for them to find the location of the Bureau of Housing and Urban Rural Development. Chapter 1672. In addition to Tang Jiu's bidding team, the bosses and staff of the other two real estate companies were all threatened to leave after they arrived. Shirley's side was considered light. Perhaps it was because the people they met were relatively soft, so Shirley dealt with this matter very easily and only threatened them a little. Later, it was said that Huang Zhimaw's side was more troublesome. The opponents they met were very strong. The security guards they brought were all retired soldiers, and there were also 2 agile scouts. They almost destroyed their base. Later, the leader of the other side was forced to shoot. Only then was the matter settled. After all, no one would be stupid enough to risk their life to fight with the local tyrant for a project. That kind of behavior was simply asking for trouble. Just think about it. There were so many threats just to participate in the bidding. Even if they won the project, it would not be so easy to do it here. There would definitely be endless trouble and harassment. Instead of this, it was better to do other things that could be done smoothly. There were so many places in the country. There was no need to hang on to this tree. Not to mention other foreign bidders, even Yang Zhan himself, if he did not climb on Shirley's thigh after entering Qingdao, who knows what kind of fiasco he would have suffered. Yang Zhan's side was going smoothly. The people he arranged also reported the news that Huang Zhimaw's side was successfully blocked. This was originally something worth celebrating, but because there was still one company that did not appear, it became a sore point in Yang Zhan's heart. His heart was not at ease. Any unstable factors would make him unable to sleep and eat in peace. His assistant was more open-minded than him. He felt that this matter was not a big deal. Maybe that company didn't even come and directly gave up on this opportunity. Yang Zhan thought about it again and again. He still felt that something was wrong. It was such a big piece of fat meat. How could they give up just like that? What kind of joke was this? Anyone who was in the real estate business would be like a little greedy cat seeing fresh and tender sashimi when they saw this kind of opportunity. Unless you said that cats did not eat fish, no one would give up such a good opportunity. There was only one possibility, and that was that the people of that company came to Qingdao one step ahead of them. And when they launched the Lead the Way operation, they were one step late. Little did they know that the group of cars that had said that they wanted to go to the movie hotel right under their noses were the bidding team of the Tang Group. Originally, Yang Zhan had wanted to tell Shirley about this matter to hear his opinion and whether he had any objections. However, he was afraid that Shirley would think that he was too wishy-washy and lacked courage, so he didn't say anything. Due to Yang Zhan's overconfidence in this matter, other than finding out that Huang Zhimaw was a competitor, he didn't know anything about the others. He also didn't put other external competitors in his eyes. Now that there was a fish that escaped the net, other than blaming himself for being careless, there was nothing else he could do. But no matter what, there was still Shirley tomorrow. Shirley was Yang Zhan's strongest backer. Tang Jiu's men were all arranged by Su Yun to stay in the movie hotel. Such a high level of treatment also stimulated the enthusiasm of these young employees. They were all in high spirits and vowed to win the bid tomorrow. Ever since Tang Jiu took over, a batch of old people who liked to take advantage of their seniority and not do practical things were all removed by her. Even though some of them were related to her, Tang Jiu still didn't give them any face. She clearly expressed one thing: if you don't do anything, then get lost. The Tang Group didn't keep idle people. When it came to recruiting new employees, Tang Jiu didn't follow the usual routine of recruiting people who had work experience. She was the chairman of the group when she had no work experience. So what? As long as you were willing to work and learn, you could quickly gain experience. No one was born to be in the real estate business, and no one was born with experience. Tang Jiu valued the young people and gave them opportunities because she thought about problems from their point of view. Moreover, as long as she was willing to give these young people a chance, she would be able to quickly judge who was good at seizing the opportunity and should be focused on nurturing, who was a useless Luadu, and who was an ingrate that could not be left alive. At the same time, this was also a kind of training for Tang Jiu. As the boss of a group, she had to learn how to deal with these things and learn how to judge people. Otherwise, she would never be able to become a qualified boss. Tang Jiu didn't just train herself by doing this, she also gave the young people opportunities. This kind of cycle was a good way to contribute to the development of society. Regardless of whether these young people who were given opportunities in the Tang Group would stay in the Tang Group in the future, they would be able to contribute to society wherever they went. That was enough. The night before the bidding meeting, Tang Jiu held a serious meeting with all the employees who came to participate in this matter. She hoped that they could learn something from this matter and not think that it was just a trip to Qingdao, a trip to stay in a luxurious hotel, and a trip to eat expensive seafood. She asked them to come here to learn and accumulate experience. Seeing how mature Tang Jiu was now, Su Yun was relieved. On the surface, he wouldn't participate in this matter, but tomorrow, he would still secretly follow them to see the situation. Although Su Yun had brought Tang Jiu to meet Shirley, there were still uncertainties. If there was any danger, Su Yun would still personally come to solve it. That night, Tang Jiu couldn't sleep at all. Looking at Su Yun sleeping soundly on the sofa, Tang Jiu's face was full of satisfaction. She didn't know why, but even though she already knew that there wouldn't be anything further between her and Su Yun, when she saw him, she still forgot all the unhappiness. As long as Su Yun smiled, all of her troubles would be thrown to the back of her mind. Brothers, magnets, best friends. Tang Jiu smiled as she looked at Su Yun on the sofa. She thought to herself, "This is the only relationship we have. I wish you happiness, and I also wish that my career will be smooth sailing in the future." After letting go of Su Yun, Tang Jiu realized that she really didn't have time to think about love. Every day, she was busy with work, so she quickly grew into a strong career woman. She felt that there was nothing wrong with being like Zhua Meiyan. She put all her heart into work and became a strong career woman that no man dared to look down on. But she didn't know that Zhua Meiyan regretted being such a strong career woman. It wasn't easy to be a strong career woman. A strong career woman would throw all her youth into her career, but once she invested her youth, she would never be able to take it back. So Zhua Meiyan regretted it. She really felt that she should have invested her youth on that bastard Su Yun. Unfortunately, she didn't have the chance because Su Yun gave his youth to the Dragon Fury team, to the country and its people. Therefore, Zhua Meiyan had no choice but to throw her youth into Sky Entertainment Corporation. Perhaps everyone had to face different choices in the best years of their lives. Different choices would lead to different lives for everyone. Some people chose to start their own business. Their outcome might be shocking, or they might not be able to recover from the setback. Some people chose to have an iron rice bowl. Their outcome might be a world-famous representative of clean government, or they might be a notorious tiger fly. Some people chose to live a plain life. Perhaps they could find happiness in the plain life, or they might lose all their happiness because of the plain life. Some people chose to live a life of games. They had no other choice. In the end, they could only be played by life. Tang Jiu didn't know how long she stared at Su Yun. Finally, she felt sleepy and fell asleep. Tomorrow, I still have to be spirited enough to fight a beautiful victory. Chapter 1673. The bidding for affordable housing finally began. Deputy Director Shi, who had been preparing for so long, was really exhausted. After layers of strict screening, he selected 5 of the most powerful real estate companies. He believed that one of the 5 companies would be able to really do this project well. They would be able to do this project with the mentality of serving the people, instead of thinking about money and profit. Of course, at the same time, the list of affordable housing applicants was being further reviewed. Even though the bidding was about to begin, Deputy Director Shi was still busy reviewing the materials. When the clerk handed the reviewed materials to Deputy Director Shi, he quickly browsed through them and frowned more and more. Deputy Director Shi angrily slammed the unfinished applicant materials on the desk and said angrily, "Xiao Chen, have you carefully and seriously read the materials of these applicants? Is this what you selected? Let me ask you, what is affordable housing? If you can't even figure this out, how can you work?" Deputy Director Shi had always been strict, so the clerk, Xiao Chen, was very embarrassed. But he really did research. Affordable housing is a national plan. The local government organizes real estate development companies or housing units to build affordable housing. It is sold to low-income urban families at a low profit price. After a pause, Xiao Chen added, there are three characteristics of affordable housing: economy, affordability, practicality. Well, what does it mean to sell affordable housing to low-income urban families at a low profit price? Deputy Director Shi said, you should think about it carefully. Can this house be sold to those who can afford it? No. Xiao Chen said seriously, I strictly selected the applicant list according to the application conditions of affordable housing. They are all local permanent residents. Now, the per capita housing construction area is less than 15 square meters. The per capita income and disposable property of the applicant family meet the standards. Meet my ass. As long as Deputy Director Shi scolded, it meant that he couldn't control his anger. He flipped through the materials on the desk and quickly found a copy and threw it in front of Xiao Chen. Who is this? Don't you know this Yukong? He has been applying for affordable housing with fake certificates for 3 consecutive years. We kicked him out. You selected him this year? Can you learn from your mistakes? After being reminded by Deputy Director Shi, Xiao Chen really remembered this Yukong. Indeed, he had been trying to cheat the affordable housing for 3 consecutive years. He had nothing to refute, so he could only lower his head and remain silent. And this one, come here. Show me this person. Who is he? Deputy Bureau Chief Shi pointed at the photo on the application form and said, don't tell me you don't know him. He was Chief Tan's relative. Every now and then, he would come to our unit to look for people to help him with things. All day long, he would fiddle with the second-hand house transactions. Does he have the money to buy property but not the money to live in a house? He even applied for an economic room? He has 7 or 8 second-hand houses in his hands. Yes. I'm sorry, Deputy Director Shi. It was my negligence. Little Cheng's head drooped even lower. He had no choice. It was because he knew that this was Chief Tan's relative that he didn't dare to kick him out. Deputy Bureau Chief Shi took a deep breath and tried to calm himself down. Xiao Cheng, you should think about it clearly. Among these people, the first batch of people we will kick out are the relatives of our leaders. They are our own relatives. Do you understand? He could not take advantage of this loophole. Otherwise, you're abusing your power and neglecting your duties. You've made a serious mistake in your thinking. Little Cheng was scolded badly, but he didn't dare to say anything. Deputy Bureau Chief Shi was so serious that he couldn't stand anything that would affect the integrity of the party. Ever since the central government had imposed a ban on civil servants, Deputy Bureau Chief Shi had been strict with them. He banned smoking and alcohol, prohibited the distribution of party newspapers and periodicals, prohibited the distribution of food and drinks with public funds, prohibited the distribution of mooncakes, prohibited the distribution of food and drink, prohibited the distribution of local specialties, prohibited the distribution of luxurious office buildings, prohibited the use of public funds for travel, prohibited the distribution of official vehicles, prohibited the distribution of part-time jobs and enterprises. When these restrictions were imposed, many people felt a headache. However, Deputy Bureau Chief Shi was very pleased with it. Some time ago, when Chief Tan's uncle passed away, there was an endless stream of people who went to burn joss paper for him. When Deputy Bureau Chief Shi found out, he slammed the table with Chief Tan and said that the central government had imposed a ban on the reform of funerals. He even used this kind of thing to collect the so-called burning joss paper. At that time, Chief Tan's face was completely lost. However, Deputy Bureau Chief Shi was too honest and didn't have any negligence in his work. Chief Tan couldn't find any evidence against him and couldn't do anything to him. Otherwise, Chief Tan really wanted to put a bucket of *T on him and kick him out of the Housing and Urban Rural Development Bureau. Originally, Chief Tan was in charge of the construction of affordable housing. However, Deputy Bureau Chief Shi fought hard for the authority to be in charge of this matter. This was for the sake of the party and Urban Rural Development Bureau's integrity. Chief Tan was also willing to let him be in charge. He didn't believe that there was no sugar-coated bullet that could move him. As long as he had any evidence against Deputy Bureau Chief Shi, he would definitely give him a hard time. Because of this Deputy Bureau Chief Sher who squeezed into the bus to go to work every day, he didn't dare to operate his Audi anymore. It was confiscated. Although the country provided low-displacement mid-level cars, he didn't dare to use them as private cars. This was because every time Chief Tan sat in the newly equipped Passat, he felt as if there were needles on the seat cushion. He always felt that Deputy Bureau Chief Sher's eyes were staring at him from somewhere. Sigh. Although Deputy Bureau Chief Sher was angry with Xiao Cheng, he quickly calmed down. Xiao Cheng, I know. However, when you have the authority to decide something, there will be all kinds of external forces that will disturb and harass you. This will make you unable to do what you want to do according to your own wishes. But it is at this time that your principles will be tested. You are still young. You must be a man of principles. The future of the country needs the principles of young people like you. The people need the principles of our public servants. Do you understand? Yes, I understand, Chief. Although Xiao Chang was scolded by Deputy Bureau Chief Sher, he still admired him from the bottom of his heart. Well, I won't say anything else. Deputy Bureau Chief Sher said lightly, think about it yourself. If what I said is reasonable, then you must take good care of your own life, actively respond to the call of the country's leaders, and be a real public servant who serves the people. Yes. Xiao Cheng took back the applicant's information. I will rescreen it right away. Deputy Bureau Chief Sher nodded. He looked at the time. It was 10 minutes to 8 o'clock. There were not many young people like Xiao Cheng who could take the initiative to work in the unit in advance. He was a young man who could be saved. As long as he was in this position, he absolutely couldn't watch him be corrupted. There was still some time before the bidding meeting at 9 o'clock. He decided to read the information submitted by these companies again in detail to see if he could find any other information. These were not for himself, but for the interests of the people, and for the interests of the qualified applicants of the economical and suitable housing. There were still many honest officials like Hua Xia who could serve the people in the spirit of serving the people. However, they were stirred up by a few rats. It made the people feel that all officials were not corrupt, just like all businessmen were not evil. It had become a habit. However, this habit would be obliterated sooner or later. He believed that in a few decades, the officials in the eyes of the people would no longer be the arrogant big tiger with official power. They would be the children who were really willing to bow their heads and do things for the people. Chapter 1674. Deputy Bureau Chief Sher was seriously handling his work in the office. On the other hand, Huang Zhima was personally driving to Bureau Chief Tan's house to pick him up for work under the guidance of his chauffeur. After all, Bureau Chief Tan was the head of the bureau. It wasn't a problem for him to be late for work by 3 to 5 minutes. Besides, Bureau Chief Tan and Huang Zhima had too much fun at the private club last night. They drank a little too much. It couldn't be helped that they couldn't get out of bed in the morning. Huang Zhima also drank a lot. If it was a normal day, he would definitely need to catch up on sleep. However, today was different. Today's matter was too important. After Bureau Chief Tan received Huang Zhima's call, he immediately informed the bureau chauffeur that he didn't need to pick him up anymore. After sitting in Huang Zhima's 7 Series BMW, Bureau Chief Tan couldn't help but sigh. This luxury car is still the most comfortable. Chief Huang's BMW is much more comfortable than my Passat. If Bureau Chief Tan feels comfortable, then I'll let the chauffeur come and pick you up every morning. Huang Zhima immediately patted his chest when he heard this. Ha, Chief Huang, how can I be qualified to enjoy this treatment? Bureau Chief Tan said, our level is only the level of a Passat. We're not qualified to sit in a BMW. Huang Zhima didn't agree with this. Bureau Chief Tan is working for the country and the people every day. You're definitely qualified to sit in a BMW. Let's just happily decide like this, right? This can't be decided in a hurry. Chief Huang, I know why you came to me, but I also made it very clear yesterday. Bureau Chief Tan said, I'm really not in charge of this matter. Bureau Chief Sher has taken all the responsibility. You should talk to him. Bureau Chief Tan knew Huang Zhimaw's thoughts too well. Wasn't it just the issue of affordable housing? He was willing to help him on this matter, but he also completely agreed with the decision of the higher-ups at that time. He gave all the power to the stone in the latrine pit. Bureau Chief Tan, no matter what, Deputy Bureau Chief Shi is still the Deputy Bureau Chief. Even if he's in charge of this matter, your words, aren't they still very useful? Huang Zhimaw smiled and said, besides, I can't get in touch with Deputy Bureau Chief Shi. He's a bit, a bit what? Smelly and tough, right? Chief Tan knew his colleague quite well. Hearing this, Huang Zhimaw could only laugh. He didn't dare to say anything bad about Deputy Director Shi. Ha, you know Deputy Director Shi better. Since you know that he is smelly and hard, then you must have hit a wall in front of him. Am I right? Chief Tan said, President Huang, did you not do enough? When Huang Zhimaw heard this, he wanted to cry. This was not enough. He had offered a 7-figure sum of money to Deputy Director Shi, but Deputy Director Shi didn't even bat an eyelid. As soon as he heard that it was about affordable housing, Deputy Director Shi directly told him that Deputy Director Shi had chosen his company to be one of the 5 companies because of their overall strength. Without waiting for Huang Zhimaw to explain anything, Deputy Director Shi directly sent him out of the house. He didn't accept the 7-figure sum of money. Perhaps it was because he was timid, but even the various gifts that Huang Zhimaw brought were rejected. He didn't keep the luxury watch that was worth more than 100,000 for Deputy Director Shi, nor did he accept the jewelry that was worth more than 100,000 for his wife. Even the Apple III Musketeers, notebooks, tablets, and phones that were worth more than 100,000 for his children were all taken out. This really left Huang Zhimaw at a loss. He had been in business for so many years, but he had never seen such a stubborn guy. If Hua Xia were all government officials like this, it would really be a good thing for businessmen like them. But after all, this was the minority that he had seen. In the face of this kind of person who couldn't become friends with him, Huang Zhimaw was completely out of ideas. Only then did he shift his target to Chief Tan. He pondered. After all, Chief Tan was the head of the department. Saying something should be of some use, right? Chief Tan, I've done everything well, but our Deputy Chief Shi is stubborn. Chief Tan, I'm begging you this time. Can you help me and say something? Huang Zhimaw said shamelessly, I'm really out of ideas. It's not a problem for me to say something, but I can't guarantee whether it'll be useful or not, Chief Tan said perfunctorily. It'll be useful, of course it'll be useful. After all, you're the chief. Huang Zhimaw was overjoyed. Deputy Director Shi didn't have to give him face, but he could not give face to his chief. Chief Tan laughed dryly. Give him face? Humph, this old Shi might not give it to him. Didn't he give him enough face? When had he ever given him face? As long as he did anything that was contrary to the ban, old Shi would always openly bring it up. He would even not give him a way out in public during meetings. After so many years, if it wasn't for the fact that he couldn't find any evidence against him, he would have taken him down long ago. Sigh, this Huang Zhimaw's request was really difficult. However, Chief Tan had to agree. There was no other way. He had accepted Huang Zhimaw's money yesterday and ate and drank his food. If he didn't do something, his reputation would be affected. Who would dare to ask him to do things? With Chief Tan's agreement, Huang Zhimaw felt more at ease. While he was on the way to send Chief Tan to the bureau, his men should have also rushed over. Just as Huang Zhimaw and Chief Tan arrived at the Bureau of Housing and Urbanism, they coincidentally bumped into Yang Zhan, who had just arrived. The 2 core competitors had arrived at their destination nearly an hour earlier. It was really envious when enemies meet. What shocked Yang Zhan was that after Huang Zhimaw got out of the car, Chief Tan actually followed him out. Yang Zhan, who originally wanted to mock and ridicule him, quickly put on a smiling face and went forward to shake hands. Hello, Chief Tan. What's wrong? Oh, I met him on the way. Chief Tan played it down. I still have things to do, so I'll go first. The auction will still take a while. You guys can wait for a while. Chief Tan's attitude towards this Yang Zhan who didn't have any intention of looking for him was neither cold nor warm. He didn't say much and turned to leave with Huang Zhima. Huang Zhima looked at Yang Zhan proudly. Director Yang, what a coincidence. You came so early too? Isn't Director Huang the same? You came so early too. Yang Zhan said unhappily. I don't have a choice. I received a call from Chief Tan this morning saying that he had something to discuss with me. That's why I picked him up and rushed over. Otherwise, why would I come so early? Coming early doesn't mean I can win this project. Isn't that right, Chief Yang? Huang Zhima was trying to overwhelm Yang Zhan with his imposing manner. Yang Zhan's expression didn't change. That's right. It's better to come at the right time than to come early. However, you have to find the right person to do this. Otherwise, if you find someone who isn't in charge of this, you won't be able to get anything done no matter how hard you try. I wonder if Director Huang has any experience in this area? I really don't have any experience in this area. I've always been very reliable. Huang Zhima sneered in his heart. Ha ha ha, life is unpredictable. No matter what happens, you will encounter it. Director Huang, you have to be mentally prepared. Who knows, you might be able to gain some social experience today. Yang Zhan's words were really good. Ha ha ha. Huang Zhima could only laugh dryly. So, Director Yang feels that this project is already in the bag. Chapter 1675. I can't say I'm 90% sure, but I won't flatter the horse's feet. Yang Zhan lowered his voice and said to Huang Zhima, Director Huang, you have to think carefully. The matter of you currying favor with Chief Tan will definitely be exposed. That matter is handled by Deputy Bureau Chief Shi. You found the wrong person. Ha ha ha, brother, you're making fun of me. You want me to provoke Deputy Bureau Chief Shi? That big boss who doesn't do anything is not someone I can afford to provoke. Huang Zhima snorted. This Yang Zhan really had bad intentions. Too bad, really too bad. Yang Zhan purposely said, Director Huang, then why do you think Chief Tan was so cold to me just now? Think carefully. Huang Zhima was stunned. Just now, Chief Tan was indeed cold to Yang Zhan. He left expressionlessly after greeting him. Why was that? Wait a minute. Huang Zhima's heart suddenly shivered. Once business and official matters were mixed together, it was bound to offend people. Could it be that this Yang Zhan had climbed up to Deputy Bureau Chief Shi's branch? That was why Chief Tan was upset when he saw him? Didn't that mean that this project had really become Yang Zhan's? If that was the case, then wouldn't all his efforts have been for naught? Everything he did before was just to clear a path for Yang Zhan. Yang Zhan's move was ruthless. He didn't even see Deputy Bureau Chief Shi's face and dared to say such things. It was nothing more than adding psychological pressure to Huang Zhima. The reason he did so was simple. It was because he was under a lot of psychological pressure. Although Huang Zhima didn't climb up to Deputy Bureau Chief Shi, he was so close to Chief Tan. This made Yang Zhan's heart feel empty. Even if this matter wasn't handled by Chief Tan, he was still a bureau chief. Huang Zhima still managed to contact a bureau chief. But what about him? He, Yang Zhan, didn't manage to contact anyone. He could only pin his hopes on Deputy Bureau Chief Shi giving him some face. Now, Huang Zhima suddenly interfered and inexplicably got so close to Chief Tan. What exactly was going on here that made Yang Zhan feel uneasy? Therefore, Yang Zhensai deliberately said this in order to make Huang Zhima as nervous and unhappy as he was. Even if Yang Zhan didn't manage to climb up the branch of Deputy Chief Shi, he still had to let Huang Zhima feel that he did. This way, it would definitely affect Huang Zhima psychologically. In order to beat down their competitors, these businessmen were all showing off their abilities. While they were waiting outside the bureau, Tang Jiao and her subordinates had just finished their breakfast. Seeing that it was about time, all the young talents followed Tang Jiao to the bureau. Although Su Yun said that he wasn't going, after Tang Jiao left, he still handed over the work in his hands to Lin Gu and followed him out. At the same time, other than Yang Zhan and Huang Zhima, who were at loggerheads with each other, the people from both sides who had found a way out were also ready. Because they had only managed to suppress 2 competitors yesterday, there was still one more that they had not been able to control. Therefore, they still had to settle this matter this morning. Not only were there Shi Lei and his subordinates at the entrance of the bureau, there were also people invited by Huang Zhima on the other side. The people invited by Huang Zhima naturally knew Shi Lei's identity. Moreover, Shi Lei was familiar with this place. When they saw Shi Lei's people present, they immediately retreated. Letting Shi Lei deal with this matter would not be a loss for them at all. Shi Lei wasn't blind. He could see that these people wanted to take advantage of the situation. However, he didn't reject this situation. Since they wanted to see, then he would let them see what kind of power he had on Qingdao. If they knew what was good for them, then they should get out of here as soon as possible. The further they went, the better. The people invited by Huang Zhima treated Shi Lei as a tool, while Shi Lei treated this matter as a means to establish his authority. Both sides took what they needed, so there was no conflict. Everything was very calm, waiting for someone to break it. Naturally, Tang Jiu was the one who broke the peace. A few security guards arranged by Tang Enterprise were sitting in the leading commercial car. Because they were going out to bid this time, it was obvious that there would be competition. Just in case, it was necessary to bring a few security guards. Following closely behind was the assistant and project manager's car. Finally, Tang Jiu's car was the last. Just as they were about to approach the Bureau of Housing and Urban Rural Development, the car in front of them suddenly screeched to a halt. There was a roadblock on the road. 2 young men with short hair and gold necklaces quickly came over and knocked on the window of the security guard in front of them. "What are you doing?" The young man said, "Do you know that there is a big matter today? You can't just enter and leave this road." "Who are you? You are blocking the road? Do you have any identification?" The driver wasn't a kind person. He had seen the world and wasn't afraid of the gangsters. "If you don't have any identification, don't make up a reason to charge. Be careful or I will call the police." The young man spat. "Who the F*CK wants to charge you? I am telling you that there is a bidding at the bureau today. It is a big matter. All of you who have nothing to do with it, get lost. Don't go over." Seeing the situation, Tang Jiu's assistant had already gotten out of the car and ran over. When he heard what the other party said, he immediately revealed his identity. "Sorry, it's a misunderstanding. We are not here to cause trouble. We are here to participate in this bidding. Ha ha ha, we are all on the same side." Hearing this, Shi Lei's men instantly became spirited. Shi Lei, who was sitting in the Mercedes-Benz by the roadside, also smiled. Finally, this family of competitors had arrived. Then, he could finally let those bastards who were watching the show see what kind of person he, Shi Lei, was. Shi Lei gave a look, and the underling immediately opened the car door for him. Shi Lei got out of the car, tidied up his clothes, and took out a cigarette. The underling beside him lit it for him. Shi Lei took a deep puff of the cigarette and looked at the situation in front with a faint smile. "Bidding? Then, all the more we can't enter." Shi Lei's underling suddenly shouted, "Brothers, let's send off our guests from afar." "Okay." With this shout, Shi Lei's underlings all showed the weapons in their hands. Tang Jiu's assistant was so scared that his legs went soft on the spot. At this moment, the leader of the lackeys smashed a stick on the hood of the SUV, creating a deep hole. The few security guards in the car naturally couldn't sit still and wait for death. They immediately jumped out of the car. These security guards were all carefully selected. They had all experienced things in the army. Later, they were trained by Zhang Wanning and Zhang Yongliang, so they were all good at fighting 1 against 3. In fact, if the 2 brothers, Zhang Wanning and Zhang Yongliang, were here today, it would be easy to settle the matter. However, there was a matter in Jibei that required manpower, so Tang Jiu arranged for them to be there. He didn't bring any experts with him today, only these few security guards. But after all, the other party had the advantage in numbers. Moreover, they had all kinds of knives in their hands. They were bare-handed and didn't have any usable weapons. After getting out of the car, they were suppressed by Shirley's men in just a few rounds. Shirley's subordinates were truly ruthless in their attacks. With each hit, blood flowed out of their heads and covered their faces. This show of strength to intimidate the tiger completely suppressed Tang Jiu's people. Tang Jiu couldn't sit still anymore. He directly got out of the car. Seeing their boss get out of the car, regardless of whether it was the assistant or the project department, they all got out of the car to protect Tang Jiu. "What do you want in broad daylight?" Tang Jiu went forward and shouted angrily, "I'll say it here today. No one can stop me from going to the housing bureau. I don't believe that you can do anything to me." After saying that, Tang Jiu said to his assistant, "Accompany him in my car to the hospital. Hurry up and stop the bleeding." "Yes." The assistant was naturally happy to get such a good job. The most important thing was to leave this place. Chapter 1676. Everyone who knew Tang Jiu knew that she would never bow her head to any evil forces. Even when she was in the Tang Corporation, she had always held her head high and faced all the opponents who bared their fangs at her. "Where I want to go is none of your business." Tang Jiu glared fiercely at the hooligans in front of her. These hooligans didn't know how to deal with her at that moment. These hooligans had seen all kinds of weapons before, but they had never seen such a stunning beauty standing in front of them and scolding them sternly. In the past, if it were anyone else, these hooligans would definitely take action. But in front of a beauty, and such a beauty at that, who could bear to lay their hands on her? Everyone had a love for beauty. Some people said that not all men didn't know how to be tender and protective of the fairer sex. These words were bull**t. There were different ways to judge a tender and protective of the fairer sex. What was a fragrant and what was a jade that was worth cherishing? Everyone's vision was different. Facing Tang Jiu, this group of men were all protective of the fairer sex. Even if Big Brother Shirley was behind them, these hooligans put away their sinister faces and looked at Tang Jiu with smiles. They couldn't wait to hold Tang Jiu in the palm of their hands. "Aya, beauty, this is a matter of society. This. A girl like you shouldn't get involved. This is my business. I'm here to bid on behalf of the Tang Corporation. You can't stop me," Tang Jiu said as she strode forward, not caring about the hooligans' gazes. The employees around her seemed to be encouraged by their boss as they gathered their courage and followed behind Tang Jiu. With such a beauty leading the way, this group of hooligans didn't know where to start. They couldn't fight, but they also couldn't not fight. Everyone's eyes couldn't help but look at Shirley. Shirley was about to get angry, but when his subordinates pulled him aside, he saw Tang Jiu and was instantly dumbfounded. Wasn't this the little Jiu who could drink so much when Su Yun called him to Lan Gui Fong that night? It couldn't be. She was CEO Tang of the Tang Corporation? The other person who came to bid for the affordable housing today? Shirley felt a headache coming on. How could he stop Su Yun's woman? If Su Yun were to find out about this, he would lose all his face. Little did he know that Su Yun had seen all of this. Su Yun didn't show himself because he believed that Shirley wasn't the kind of person who didn't pay attention. "Get the F***ck out of here. Go do what you're supposed to do." Shirley suddenly turned around, and with his back facing his brothers, he roared, "All of you scram. If anyone dares to touch President Tang, I'll skin them alive." Shirley, who was usually a man of his word, suddenly became angry. His subordinates didn't know why, but they were all dumbfounded. Could it be that Big Brother Lei had the same thought when he saw a beautiful woman? "You are." Tang Jiu seemed to recognize Shirley, but he wasn't sure. After all, Shirley had turned around and left under the cover of his subordinates. "President Tang, we can't let them go just like that. They even injured our people," someone reminded him. However, Tang Jiu didn't want to continue. After all, they were about to participate in the bidding, and the medical fees weren't much. The company could still afford it. Moreover, these people were local tyrants. If they were really provoked, Tang Jiu didn't dare to say what would happen in the end. Therefore, since the other party wanted to leave, Tang Jiu was happy to settle the dispute like this. Otherwise, both sides would suffer. Then let's walk over. Tang Jiu didn't get in the car again. They were less than 400 meters away from the Bureau of Housing and Urban Rural Development. She led a group of employees and strode towards the entrance of the Bureau of Housing and Urban Rural Development. Several cars followed behind. Shirley ordered his subordinates to leave as he got into the car and regretted explaining this to Su Yun. He was so annoyed. If he had known that Su Yun's woman was among the bidders, he wouldn't have agreed to do this kind of thing with that damn Yang Zhenlai. The big brother that Huang Zhima had invited was called Wang Qing. He wasn't from Qingdao, but he was definitely a ruthless character. He was very surprised to see Shirley suddenly become listless. Although Director Tang of the Tang Group was very beautiful, they had been around for so many years and had seen all kinds of beautiful women. He couldn't be subdued by a girl's beauty, right? Those who went soft at the sight of women were all hooligans. As bosses, they couldn't have such a problem. Obviously, Wang Qing had guessed that Tang Jiu had a background. Moreover, Shirley knew her background, so he didn't dare to provoke her. Wang Qing sneered. Shirley didn't dare to provoke her, but that didn't mean that I, Wang Qing, didn't dare to provoke her. You're from Qingdao, but I'm not. After this is over, I'll take the money and leave immediately. No one will dare to provoke me. Wait a minute. Director Tang, right? I'm afraid you still can't go over. Wang Qing took the moment when the situation calmed down and led his men to block Tang Jiu and her team. The atmosphere suddenly became tense again. Tang Jiu frowned and said angrily, "You guys are simply lawless." Director Tang, you're right. I like to hear that. We are lawless. This is a fact that can't be changed. Wang Qing didn't have as many misgivings as Shirley. If you can cooperate and leave this place, then we can become good friends. But if you insist on staying here, then I'll have no choice but to ruthlessly destroy you. Tang Jiu couldn't do anything about this. She couldn't let the drivers drive over. She was a law-abiding person. If you do that, I'll call the police. Tang Jiu glared. Director Tang, think about it. If we were afraid of the police, or if we didn't give them a heads up, would we dare to make things difficult for you so openly? Wang Qing said, you can call the police. When the police come, I'll say that your group owes us hard-earned money. When the time comes, we'll all be taken to the police station for questioning. I don't care if it takes 2 or 3 hours, but I'm afraid that Director Tang can't afford the delay. Yes, the police were too complicated. If they encountered such a situation, Tang Jiu would definitely be taken to the police station for questioning. Tang Jiu couldn't find enough evidence to prove that this scoundrel had no business relationship with her and that she didn't owe him money. If she really delayed for 2 or 3 hours, the bidding would be over. Then, what was the point of her coming to the Bureau of Housing and Urban Rural Development? She couldn't call the police, and she couldn't deal with this problem for too long. Tang Jiu had no choice but to ask Su Yun for help. There was only half an hour left. Would Su Yun be able to make it? At this time, Shirley couldn't take it anymore. He didn't care if he was recognized. He led his men forward. A good dog doesn't block the way. Get out of the way for Director Tang. Shirley said majestically. This was his territory. It wasn't a place for outsiders to behave atrociously. Ha ha ha, Brother Lei is so imposing. Wang Qing smiled disapprovingly. Most of Shirley's men had left, but his men were still there. If they really fought, he wouldn't be at a disadvantage at all. Tang Jiu looked back at Shirley and was shocked. Wasn't this the Brother Lei who had been drinking with her and Su Yun at the bar the other day? No wonder he was so dignified that day. It turned out that he was the boss. Director Tang, I'm sorry. It was a misunderstanding. Shirley said embarrassedly, you can go do your business. I'll take care of things here. What kind of drama was this? Tang Jiu couldn't understand what was going on. What was going on? Brother Lei, do you think you can take care of things here? Wang Qing said unhappily, I know about your influence on Guqin Island, but don't look down on me too much. No matter who you are, you'll have to pay the price for tearing down my stage. Chapter 1677. Then I really want to see what kind of price you can make me pay. Let's see who dares to touch President Tang today. Shi Lei didn't believe that there was anyone who dared to touch him on Guqin Island. They must be tired of living. I have acquaintances in the hospital morgue. Tell them later that I'll leave a good spot near the door for whoever dares to touch him. The veins on Wang Qing's temples were popping out. It had been too long since someone had taught this Shi Lei a lesson. That arrogance, that insufferably arrogant attitude, Wang Qing really couldn't tolerate it. I gave you face and called you Big Brother Lei. If I don't give you face, who the F***ck are you in my eyes? Today, I really want to teach you a lesson, you big trouble. Brothers, if we let this be ***starred walk out of this street alive today, Shi Lei, won't have any face left in the future? Shi Lei sneered and said to his subordinates who hadn't left yet. Shi Lei's subordinates were all full of vigor. They were used to being arrogant, so how could they just watch someone act cool in front of Big Brother Lei? At that moment, they all turned hostile. Some were so stunned that they started to step forward to teach Wang Qing a good lesson, while others immediately took out their phones to make a call. After all, Brother Lei had already spoken and told them to scram. Who would dare to not stop? Each of them left faster than the other. Their speed was comparable to Ah Xiang's. If they were properly trained, they could even be sent to the Olympics. Wang Qing dared to challenge Shi Lei because Shi Lei had sent away most of his subordinates. Otherwise, he wouldn't do such a stupid thing. Now that he had more people, 3 against 1, he didn't believe that his subordinates couldn't win. However, if Shi Lei's subordinates called for more people to come back, then the situation would be difficult to determine. Therefore, Wang Qing definitely wouldn't let anyone make a call. Whoosh! He took out a black pistol and aimed it directly at Shi Lei's forehead. In an instant, not only were Shi Lei's subordinates stunned, but even Shi Lei himself was stunned. It was not like 10 years ago, when there were plenty of people who dared to pull out guns to scare people in broad daylight. Over the years, Huaxia's spiritual civilization and social development had progressed, as well as the elimination of evil forces, especially the control of guns. Even Shi Lei would not use his gun easily. Even if he wanted to scare people, he would only use his gun in remote places with few people or in the middle of the night. If he were to open fire in such a place, it would be equivalent to causing a lot of trouble for himself. Tang Jiu was also stunned. Her men had the thought of charging in, but when they saw the black muzzle of the gun, they all went limp and started to retreat. They couldn't be blamed for being timid. They were just ordinary white-collar workers. Anyone who said they weren't afraid in such a situation would definitely be acting cool. Put down your fucking phones. Wang Qing scolded angrily. What are all of you showing off in front of me? You like to pretend, right? Come on, continue pretending for me to see. Let's see who the F***ck dares to dial the number. Do you believe that I will kill your boss with one shot? Shi Lei's subordinates couldn't help but gasp. What should they do now? The gun was aimed at Brother Lei. None of them dared to move. Wang Qing, I really don't believe that you would dare to shoot. Shi Lei sneered. Right here, you can try shooting. Even if you can't kill me or hit me, firing a gun is still a crime. I think you should stay in jail for a while. Don't you know how strict the laws of the People's Republic of Huaxia are? Don't pretend to be a good person with me. Don't I know how strict the laws are? How can you, Shi Lei, know? Wang Qing said disdainfully. Let me tell you. Even if I kill you, someone will take the blame for me. These brothers of mine are all loyal to their friends. Shi Lei believed that not many of these little brothers who came out to mingle with others had good family conditions. They really dared to bear this kind of stain that could never be washed clean for the rest of their lives just for a few 100,000 yuan. If you are really good to your brothers, you won't let your brothers take the blame for you. Although Shirley was a person who had seen great storms, after analyzing the current situation, he didn't doubt that Wang Qing really dared to shoot him. There were two reasons that could boost Wang Qing's arrogance. First, his weakness was that he wasn't a person from Qingdao. If he really shot him, at most, he would run away. Once he escaped Qingdao in time, it wouldn't be easy to catch him. Second, it was Shirley's own identity. With Shirley's identity, it was easy for him to find all kinds of social revenge. Even the police knew this, so if Shirley was beaten, the police wouldn't care much about solving the problem. With these two reasons, Wang Qing had a reason to shoot Shirley. People in the underworld had one thing in common. When they wanted to save face, they were easily impulsive. Being impulsive made it easy to do things that couldn't be made up for. A pistol wasn't so safe. It was just a matter of pulling the trigger for half a second. It was definitely too late to regret. Besides, even if the trigger wasn't pulled, there was still a chance of it going off. Teach Big Brother Lei's good brothers a lesson. I want to see how Big Brother Lei treats his brothers. Wang Qing roared viciously. The underlings behind him rushed forward without hesitation, punching and kicking Shirley's men. Their attacks were ruthless, all aimed at the head. Because Shirley's head was pointed at by a gun, his underlings didn't dare to resist. They didn't have many people, and now they couldn't do anything, so they just let the other party beat them up. Those with weaker resistance had already fallen to the ground under the combined attacks of 2 or 3 people from the other side. These people were all masters of fighting all day long, and their attacks were heavy. In a few minutes, they could beat someone until they couldn't even stand up. Soon, Shirley's underlings couldn't hold on anymore. If this continued, someone would really have a dangerous situation like a brain hemorrhage. Wang Qing, what the F***ck do you want? Come at me. Don't use this method to threaten people. Shirley was angry, but facing the gun, he really couldn't do anything. Wang Qing spat. What do you think I want? Shirley, I didn't provoke you today. I didn't stop you, but you stuck your head out for me to chop. You don't dare to touch this girl, but that doesn't mean I don't dare to. What you can't do today, I, Wang Qing, can do. I'm helping you deal with something you don't want to do. It's fine if you don't thank me, but you're standing out for me? What do you think I want? If this Wang Qing were to target him, Shirley could really let it go and admit defeat. At most, he could just go back and get back at Wang Qing for all the anger he had suffered. But this Wang Qing was targeting Tang Jiu, so Shirley definitely couldn't give in. If you want to touch Boss Tang, then you can't. If you have the guts, then open a black hole in my head. Unless I die, you won't be able to stop Boss Tang today. Shirley was also ruthless, but let me tell you, if I die, don't think you can leave Qingdao alive. Try it. Most of the time, momentum could cause many things to change qualitatively. For example, in today's situation, Wang Qing was originally the one who had the upper hand, but Shirley's sudden ruthlessness actually caused Wang Qing to be stunned. This definitely wasn't to say that Wang Qing was afraid of trouble, but aura could make people re-evaluate the situation. When Wang Qing realized that if he killed Shirley, he wouldn't be able to bear the consequences, his finger couldn't pull the trigger anymore. Get out of my way. Relying on his imposing manner, Shirley strode towards the path blocked by Wang Qing and his group of brothers. In the face of such a lone hero, Wang Qing's subordinates really admired him. If he were to change into a windbreaker and wear a toothpick, then he would be the real version of a hero. Chapter 1678. Tang Jiu didn't know what to say. Everything happened too suddenly. She didn't have time to figure out what was going on. Although the people who stopped her, injured her security guards, and smashed the company car were all Shirley's people, the people who stood up for her were also Shirley's people. With the eldest brother taking the lead, the injured brothers on the ground also gritted their teeth and stood up. Except for a few who were beaten to the point that they couldn't even stand up, as long as they still had the strength to straighten their backs, none of them were willing to be a weakling. Those who worked in the IT industry knew what coding was, those who worked in the design industry knew what art was, and those who worked in the underworld knew what loyalty was. Every industry had its own rules. Those who were able to stay by Shirley's side until now were not willing to be cowards. With their boss taking the lead, if anyone still wanted to shrink back, then they would really have the life of a tortoise. If you dare to take another step, I'll shoot. Don't worry, I'll shoot. Although Wang Qing had the upper hand in the situation, he was still suppressed by Shirley in terms of morale. The brothers around him did not want to see him shoot. If this matter got out of hand, one of them would die. Even if there were people who would stand up for the sake of benefits, the others would still be implicated. After all, not everyone could withstand the trouble brought about by this kind of thing. Moreover, Shirley had already said that even if they killed him, Wang Qing definitely wouldn't be able to leave Qingdao alive. If even their boss couldn't walk out alive, what about them? At the very least, they would be beaten to a pulp. Just now, they had seen how many people Shirley had. If that group of brothers all rushed back, each of them would be counted as one, and none of them would be able to escape. Boss. After all, this isn't our territory. Let's not go overboard. Finally, one of the brothers couldn't help but whisper in Wang Qing's ear. He also noticed something else. This woman can make Shirley protect her so desperately. How powerful is the force behind her? We're helping President Huang to make money. We don't need to put our lives and the lives of our brothers here. Wang Qing was also worried and considered the consequences. However, things had already gotten out of hand. He didn't expect Shirley to be so stubborn. If he backed down now, where would he put his face? No matter how bad he was still a boss. If he admitted defeat in front of so many brothers, what dignity would he have in the future? No way. Even if he had to die today, he had to do it. A person's face was like a tree's bark. He couldn't just throw away his face like this. Anger and pride had completely destroyed Wang Qing's rationality. He suddenly pulled the trigger. No one realized that he was really going to shoot. Only Su Yun, who was hiding in the shadows, had considered Wang Qing's feelings. He knew that impulsiveness would destroy his rationality. Just as Wang Qing was about to pull the trigger, Su Yun stopped hiding and rushed towards Shirley like a ghost. The moment the gunshot rang out, Shirley was also pushed out by Su Yun. Although Su Yun's extreme speed was enough to dodge the bullet, he was still a step too late. The bullet still hit Shirley's shoulder. Because the distance was too close, and the power was too great, it directly penetrated through. Shirley was hit the moment he was pushed out by Su Yun. If it wasn't for Su Yun's timely arrival, the bullet might have really gone through his head. Shirley, who fell heavily to the ground, felt a sharp pain in his shoulder. When he saw Su Yun's figure clearly, Su Yun had already rushed towards Wang Qing. With a face-wipe kick, he directly hit Wang Qing's face. Blood spurted out of Wang Qing's mouth and nose, and even his broken teeth flew out. However, Su Yun didn't stop there. He followed up with a divine dragon tail whip and sent Wang Qing flying tens of meters away. All of this happened in an instant. Those who were slow to react didn't even see what Su Yun had done. This was a brutal burst of power. In just 2 moves, Wang Qing was completely knocked out. Perhaps the gunshot really angered Su Yun. There were so many people here, including Tang Jiu. Bullets didn't have eyes. Everyone was in danger because of this shot. Of course, the one who was shot was still Shirley. If Su Yun had arrived a moment later, Shirley might have died on the spot. Wang Qing, who was crippled in 2 moves, was no longer able to command the situation. His subordinates were also in a mess. Su Yun naturally wouldn't let this group of bastards go. He didn't give them a chance to escape. He bent down and used total annihilation to knock down a bunch of them. There was someone who was stupid enough to attack Su Yun today. In the end, he was ruthlessly kicked to the ground by Su Yun. Those who knew the ropes could see that Su Yun's every move was a killing move. One move would definitely make the person who was hit completely fall to the ground and lose the ability to resist. The aura of this heavenly soldier instantly drove Shirley's subordinates who still had the ability to fight. Although they were injured, when they saw their boss injured, their anger made them forget their pain. They pounced on Wang Qing's subordinates like hungry tigers pouncing on their prey. Su Yun alone killed almost 80% of Wang Qing's subordinates. His attacks were steady, accurate, and ruthless. None of the people here today would be able to escape after committing a crime. The gunshots had already attracted the attention of passers-by who had witnessed everything. The police quickly rushed to the scene. When the last of Wang Qing's subordinates was knocked to the ground, Su Yun quickly came to Tang Jiu's side. "Don't think too much. Take down this bid. I'll be outside." "Okay." Tang Jiu bit her lip and nodded seriously. Only then did she realize that all this trouble was caused by the bidding. Fortunately, Su Yun arrived in time. Otherwise, she was afraid that today's bidding would really be delayed by these people. Although the cars were blocked by the injured people, they couldn't stop Tang Jiu's footsteps. Tang Jiu led her team directly across the road filled with gangsters and headed straight for the Bureau of Housing and Urban Rural Development. "Send your brother Lei to the hospital," Su Yun said. "I'll take care of things here." Lei's subordinates looked at Su Yun gratefully and quickly helped Lei up. However, Lei waved his hand and rejected their help. He bared his teeth and said to Su Yun, "Brother Su Yun, I have to apologize to you for what happened today. If I knew that CEO Tang was here to bid, I wouldn't have done it even if you beat me to death. Brother Lei, I know what kind of person you are. I also know why you helped Yongzhen. You owe him a favor because of me. If we look at the root of this matter, it's also my fault." Su Yun said, "Go to the hospital and take out the bullet first. If I leave now, I won't have the face to continue living here. How can I let you shoulder my problems?" Lei said, "Even if I get shot, I asked for it. The police must be on the way. You go first. I'm here. This kind of thing will affect your status." Su Yun shook his head helplessly. "I'm asking you to go to the hospital, but that doesn't mean I won't let the police find you. You have to help with the investigation and convict this guy. I won't have any influence here. At most, I'm just being a good Samaritan and beat him up a little too hard." "There's such a thing as being a good Samaritan?" Lei was stunned. "That's not the point, boss." Lei's subordinates were a little speechless. CEO Su is just lending a helping hand. When the police come, they will give him a commendation. They might even give him a banner or something. Lei felt a sharp pain in his shoulder. It was so painful that he grimaced. "So it's like that. Then you can't leave. You have to accept the commendation." "I can't leave either. I have to stay here to help you clear up this matter." Su Yun knew that he couldn't persuade him, so he didn't say anything more. He turned and walked to Wang Qing. Although he had held back his strength when he attacked just now, it was still a little too heavy for an ordinary person. This guy better not get a brain hemorrhage or something like that. If that happened, Su Yun's excessive bravery for a just cause would really cause some trouble for him. Lei could see Su Yun's worry and reassured him. "Brother Su Yun, if something happens, I'll help you." Chapter 1679. Lei's words weren't just polite words, nor were they empty words. He was well aware of the importance of Su Yun's push just now. At that time, that bastard Wang Qing really aimed at his glabella and fired. If it was not for Su Yun, he would have been shot in the head. "Manager Su, if this guy really dies, I will take responsibility for Brother Lei. You better not admit it." Lei's lackey was also a particular person. He patted his chest on the spot. He would do anything for Lei willingly. His mother's stomach cancer could be treated and controlled because Lei contacted the hospital and provided the money for the surgery. Su Yun knew that he was the one who did it. "He won't die. Don't think too much. I will settle this. You all should think about how to solve your own problems first. There are so many surveillance cameras on the roadside. You all have to take responsibility for your actions." While they were talking, police sirens could be heard from afar. The police had reported that gunshots had been fired. The police station took this matter seriously and sent over a dozen police cars. Even the armed police were alerted. When the police arrived at the scene, they saw a lot of people lying on the ground. They were so scared that they were sweating. They thought they had killed a lot of people. After understanding the situation, the police officers were relieved. The injured were sent to the hospital under the police's supervision. Su Yun was also brought back for questioning. This was a shooting case. This was not a small matter. They had to take this matter seriously. Tang Jiu believed that Su Yun would solve all the problems. So, he let go of all the burdens in his heart. He must win this bid and give it to Su Yun to make him feel better. The time was approaching. Tang Jiu saw so many cars parked at the Bureau of Housing and Urban Rural Development. He also knew that his competitors had arrived. That's right. Everyone had arrived. Yang Zhan and Huang Zhima were in a cold war in the conference room. Both parties had occupied one side of the long oval conference table. They did not expect a third party to join them. When Tang Jiu brought his men into the conference room, Yang Zhan and Huang Zhima were dumbfounded. Both of them took out their phones at the same time. Yang Zhan called Shi Lei, and Huang Zhima called Wang Qing. However, neither of them picked up the phone. Wang Qing was unconscious, so it was impossible for him to pick up the phone. Shi Lei's phone had also been confiscated by the police. He was on his way to the hospital to retrieve the bullet. This time, both of them were shocked. Could it be that this girl had brought someone stronger than the one they had found? Directly cripple the people on both sides? One had to know that the two of them had clearly heard the gunshots just now, but they thought that it was their own people trying to intimidate the other party, so they didn't care. Tang Jiu sat down at the other end of the table. She already knew that the two groups of people just now must have been hired by the two competitors, so she couldn't be bothered with them. After entering the house, he didn't even look at them once. "Hello, I'm Yang Zhen. May I ask who this lady is?" Yang Zhen was the first to ask. He wanted to know who the other party was and what company she was from. If you don't even have this bit of information, how can you defeat your competitors? Do you only rely on those dishonorable methods? Tang Jiu said disdainfully. She then looked at Huang Zhima. "Mr. Huang, what you said is right, right?" When Huang Zhima heard that the other party knew about him, it was obvious that they had done their homework. It seemed that the other party knew about the strength of his and Yang Zhan's companies. They weren't so clear about it. They didn't do much homework because they were too confident that they could handle this matter. This was really a careless mistake. Yang Zhan and Huang Zhima couldn't help but feel vexed. The final bidding meeting was about to begin. Deputy Bureau Chief Shi arrived at the meeting room 2 minutes early. When he walked into the meeting room and saw that there were only 3 bidding companies, his face became a little ugly. "Pa." Deputy Bureau Chief Shi threw some documents on the table. Director Zhang and Section Chief Li, who came with him, immediately realized that Deputy Bureau Chief Shi was in a bad mood. Everyone could see that Deputy Bureau Chief Shi was very angry, and the consequences were very serious. "Only people from the 3 of you?" Deputy Bureau Chief Shi said in a low voice. He pointed at the mulberry tree and scolded the locust tree. "It seems that some people are unscrupulous in order to achieve their goals. I really feel ashamed for this kind of people. Humph, 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 they don't even dare to compete. It's really too shameful. It makes me feel disgusted." Yang Zhan and Huang Zhima had a guilty conscience. They didn't dare to say anything even though they were scolded. They looked up at the ceiling as if nothing had happened. "Director Zhang, Section Chief Li, now you know what the gunshots were about, right?" Deputy Bureau Chief Shi shook his head helplessly. It seems that the other 2 competitors were forced to leave by the criminals. Director Zhang comforted Deputy Bureau Chief Shi. "Bureau Chief Shi, the police car just arrived. I believe that the criminals will be severely punished." "Humph, yes. Not only do we have to punish these criminals, but we also have to punish the people behind them." Deputy Bureau Chief Shi coldly pointed his spear at the 3 real estate companies present. Although Yang Zhan had a guilty conscience, the person he was looking for was Shirley, who was a relative of Deputy Bureau Chief Shir. He didn't believe that Deputy Bureau Chief Shir would curse his own relative. Huang Zhima felt a little better. He felt that Shirley was the local bully and Wang Qing was the dragon that crossed the river. He guessed that it should be Shirley and not Wang Qing. Deputy Bureau Chief Shir, I was the one who was stopped outside just now. It wasn't the other two competitors who couldn't make it to the scene, Tang Jiu suddenly said. Although I don't know why the other two competitors gave up, I believe that a company with a sense of responsibility wouldn't give up so easily. Tang Jiu's words shocked Deputy Bureau Chief Shir. A girl who didn't flinch in the face of gunshots just now. She didn't even retreat. This was courage. This was true courage. You must be Miss Tang from the Tang Group, right? Deputy Bureau Chief Shir's expression finally eased a little. You are indeed a heroine. I've seen the Tang Group's bid. It's really perfect. Can we talk about it in detail? Hearing this, Yang Zhan and Huang Zhima were a little confused. What did this mean? Did it mean that they were directly thrown into the cold palace? Deputy Bureau Chief Shir, the incident just now must have been caused by someone with ulterior motives. I also despise such people. Huang Zhima took the initiative to speak first. This way, he directly pointed the spearhead at Yang Zhen. Yang Zhen was dumbfounded. Even when there was no trouble, there was no such thing. Now that there was trouble, he had to bear the blame. Huang Zhima, this old bastard, was too shameless. But what they didn't expect was that Deputy Bureau Chief Shir didn't seem to buy it. He didn't even look at Huang Zhima. Although he didn't say anything, it gave people a feeling of silent contempt. This was because Deputy Bureau Chief Shir had a prejudice against him. Because Huang Zhima had given him a gift, he disliked this kind of person. Yang Zhen couldn't defend himself. Please listen to my explanation, Deputy Bureau Chief Shir. This matter is definitely not my own. The innocent knows that they are innocent. Deputy Bureau Chief Shir interrupted Yang Zhen. If you didn't do it, then you didn't do it. In this society, there are many people who cry thief. I know it very well. This sentence made Huang Zhima confused. The meaning couldn't be more obvious. Deputy Bureau Chief Shir's spearhead was on him. It was a form of targeting him. Deputy Bureau Chief Shir, what do you mean? Huang Zhima said, so, everyone here is a good person, and only I am a bad person? Hey, this matter is really not right. Is it because you have a close relationship with these two people, so it is easy for an outsider like me to be disliked? It seems that my face isn't good. President Huang, face is something you fight for yourself. It has nothing to do with others. Deputy Bureau Chief Shir said coldly, if you put too much importance on relationships when doing things, it is better to put your thoughts into doing things. Doing practical things is the most fundamental thing. This is your core competitiveness. Without core competitiveness, no matter how strong the relationship is, there won't be any results. At least, this is the case here. Chapter 1680. Huang Zhima's face darkened. These words were obviously directed at him. What was this? Provocation? Were they talking to him? Why? This matter was obviously directed at him. How did he offend this Deputy Director Shir? Some people are unscrupulous in order to achieve their goals. They try to get close to others, find connections, and play with favors. Actually, these are not important. What's important is strength. Mr. Huang, don't think that Deputy Director Shir will give you extra points just because you have a close relationship with Director Tan. Yang Zhen was proud. He beat around the bush and said, Deputy Director Shir has always been the representative of impartiality. Huang Zhima's expression became even uglier. Good on you, Yang Zhen. You still want to hit me when I'm down? Don't blame me for being impolite. Chief Yang, when you talk about others, you should think about whether you are a clean person. I heard that a bidder who came from afar last night was forced to leave by someone with a gun pointed at his head as soon as he exited the highway. After saying that, Huang Zhimo looked at Tang Jiu again. I heard that this was done by one of our bidders. Mr. Tang also came from afar. It can't be her. Then it's just the two of us left. Was it you or me? Of course, Yang Zhen didn't admit defeat. Huang Zhimo, that's enough. I saw that you and Director Tan had a good chat today. Have you happily decided on this matter? Deputy Director Sure, if that's the case, I won't be participating. I'll leave now. There's no fairness. Huang Zhimo sneered. You think you're qualified to talk about fairness? I'm fair to everyone. I know who's playing tricks better than you. Deputy Director Sure said seriously. This is a dignified place. I hope you can be more serious. If you have such an attitude, don't blame me for asking you to leave. Deputy Director Sure, can you still be fair in this matter? You obviously have a prejudice against me. Huang Zhimo explained. Mr. Yang's mouth is so incoherent. I only met Director Tan by chance, but he made it sound like I got in through the back door. How can this be a fair competition? Deputy Director Shi sneered. Mr. Huang, they don't know whether you got in through the back door or not, but I do. I remember everything that Chief Tan told me. Huang Zhimo was stunned. What did that mean? Tell him not to worry? Or was it a judgment that he had no chance at all? Huang Zhimo couldn't understand what he was saying. Director Tan told me that Mr. Huang's company is very strong, and he is serious and responsible in the project. So far, there have been no problems. Deputy Director Shi smiled. This is what I need the most. Hearing this, Huang Zhimo's face instantly revealed a smile. Is that so? Ha ha ha. Deputy Chief Shi, Director Tan is overpraising me. This is what I should do. Without waiting for Huang Zhimo to finish speaking, Deputy Bureau Chief Shi changed the topic. However, I've also done a thorough investigation. However, the results were different from what Chief Tan had told me. Director Tan said that you haven't had any problems with any project so far, but I found out that 5 years ago, a stampede occurred because of an elevator collapse in a shopping mall project, and the root cause of the incident was the quality of the elevator. 2 years ago, an outer wall worker of your project fell to his death because of inadequate protective measures. What surprised me even more was that your project actually won the local Luban Award. As far as I know, any project that has any problems is not qualified to compete for this award, right? Deputy Director Shi's words instantly dragged Huang Zhimo's mood to the bottom. He felt that his head was about to explode. Also, a year ago, you won a dangerous bridge repair project in Jintang City. As a result, the bridge collapsed in February this year. Deputy Director Shi said, fortunately, it collapsed in the middle of the night. No vehicles or pedestrians passed by, so it didn't cause great damage. Huang Zhimo took a deep breath. This Deputy Director Shi really didn't give him face. At this time, Director Tan suddenly pushed open the door of the conference room and walked in. No one knew whether he had heard Deputy Director Shi's words or not, but the purpose of his coming in was very obvious. Old Shi, I just thought about it again. It's better to leave this project to President Huang. This time, Director Tan came in directly and said, don't talk about things with your information. Who hasn't made a mistake before? I believe that President Huang will definitely be able to do this well. Yang Zhan really wanted to ask how many benefits Director Tan had received from Huang Zhimo. He came to give a recommendation so openly? Tang Jiu obviously didn't expect things to develop like this. Why did Director Tan jump out halfway? Director Tan. Deputy Director Shi didn't seem to care about Director Tan's meaning. Instead, he stood up and retorted, indeed, some people have never made a mistake. This is the information I found about the Tang Group. The Tang Group is a group company focused on real estate, and its real estate projects have never had any negative events since its establishment 25 years ago. Whether it's the quality of the houses or the design of the houses, they have advanced awareness. Tang Jiu's eyes lit up. It looked like she still had hope in this bid. As long as Deputy Director Sher allowed them to compete fairly, she wouldn't feel uncomfortable even if she lost. Old Sher, that's enough. Director Tan looked a little impatient. When will you be able to adapt to the circumstances? Director Tan, I don't understand what you mean by adapting to the circumstances. However, I just want to tell you that as a civil servant who eats and uses the country, you have to understand what your mission is and what your responsibilities are. Deputy Director Sher said righteously. Director Tan obviously didn't have much patience. Then let me tell you, your responsibility is the power in your hands. Do you understand? Do you really think that I don't have the power to take back this project just because I handed it to you? Then let me tell you, Director Tan, my responsibility isn't the power in my hands. It's to serve the people. Deputy Director Sher really wasn't afraid of being suppressed by a higher rank. Director Tan pointed at Deputy Director Sher's nose. He was so angry that he couldn't say a word. Huang Zhimo hurriedly went forward to calm him down. After a while, Director Tan said, Old Sher, at least you have a backbone. However, I don't need you to be responsible for this matter anymore. You can throw away your lousy information and leave now. I'll personally take care of this matter. After all, Director Tan was the leader. He had the power to give such an order. Tang Jiu's heart instantly turned cold. Yang Zhan didn't expect anything at this time. He just watched the show with a bitter expression. If Director Tan took over this matter, he wouldn't have any hope at all. Then, what was the point of playing? If he had known this would happen, he would have hugged Director Tan's thigh. Then, he wouldn't have let Huang Zhimo take advantage of him. At this time, Huang Zhimo was the most pleased. He, who was like a dead fish just now, suddenly became lively and lively. He poured water for Director Tan and calmed him down. They were as intimate as they could be. Director Tan, I'm afraid you can't take responsibility for this matter. Deputy Director Sher suddenly said, Before you explain this matter to the Discipline Inspection and Supervision Team, your authority should be invalid. Director Tan was stunned. What do you mean? Deputy Director Sher took out a recording pen from his pocket. This is the recording pen that the Discipline Inspection and Supervision Team gave me at 8 a.m. this morning. They are now in the empty conference room next to us. Because you were late, you didn't see them. The first thing you did when you arrived at the unit was to go to my office and tell me about Mr. Huang. It's all recorded in this recording pen. Director Tan's forehead was sweating. So what? I'm also responsible for my work. Can't I recommend a company that I think is qualified? You don't need to explain this to me. You should go and explain it to the leader of the Discipline Inspection and Supervision Team. Deputy Director Sher said, God is watching what people do. Director Tan, as an official, you can't forget your roots. When you forget what it means to serve the people, you are no longer worthy of being an official. Chapter 1681. Chief Tan angrily rebuked. Nonsense. You're simply unreasonable. Surnamed Sher, let me tell you, you have to be responsible for your words. I can sue you for slander. You're slandering a state official, so you have to bear legal responsibility. Don't use the leader of the Discipline Inspection and Supervision Team to scare me. I'm clean, so why would I be afraid of being investigated? That's for the best, Deputy Chief Sher said. We're colleagues, so I really don't want anything to happen to you. You've made a lot of achievements and contributions over the years. To be honest, Chief Tan, I still admire your ability to make decisions on some matters. Chief Tan gritted his teeth and looked at the person in front of him. He cursed in his heart for not saying what he meant. His eyes suddenly stared at the recording pen. Give this to me. I'll go find the leader of the Discipline Inspection and Supervision Team myself. Deputy Chief Sher quickly put away the recording pen. This was given to me by the leader of the Discipline Inspection and Supervision Team. He told me that I have to return this pen to him personally. I can't let anyone touch it, so as to avoid deleting the information inside by mistake. So, I'm sorry, Chief Tan. Am I the kind of villain you're talking about? Will I delete the recording inside? Chief Tan flew into a rage out of humiliation. He looked like he was going to snatch it. I'm just going to send this recording pen to the leader of the discipline inspection and supervision team next door on your behalf. At this moment, the door of the meeting room was pushed open. 5 middle-aged men in suits and leather shoes walked in. The leader smiled and said, Chief Tan, there's no need to trouble you. You're usually quite busy with work. I'll get this pen myself. Chief Tan's head heated up. He turned around and saw that these people were from the discipline inspection and supervision team arranged by the city. Their ranks were the same as his, but the power in their hands was different from his. They had the power to investigate people, but he only had the obligation to be investigated. Oh, it turns out to be Director Du. Look at you. What brings you here from so far away? Wang Yao asked. Chief Tan hurriedly went forward. If you need anything, give me a call. I'll take care of it immediately. You're so busy every day. Isn't it a waste of time to come here? Ha ha ha. I really have to come here personally. Director Du was the appointed leader of the Discipline Inspection Commission. He still had a smile on his face as he said, If I didn't come, I wouldn't be able to bear the responsibility if this recording pen was accidentally broken or something. Chief Tan put on a fake smile. Chief Du, do you want some tea? No need. Director Du said lightly, Director Tan, since I'm here, I'll explain the situation to you. It's not that I'm targeting you personally. It's just that last night, we received a report from the masses saying that there were government officials entering and exiting a high-class clubhouse, so I arranged for someone to investigate. In the end, the government official that was reported by the masses was you, Chief Tan. Therefore, as the leader of the Commission for Discipline Inspection, I must conduct a series of investigations on you. Chief Tan's mind buzzed. He had gone to that high-class clubhouse with Huang Zhimo yesterday. No one knew. Who would report him? Moreover, that place was so hidden, how could anyone have seen it? What the hell was going on? Director Tan, I know you must want to know who the informant is now. I can understand your feelings, but we have the obligation to keep the informant secret. Therefore, we really can't tell you about this matter. Director Du said, Now, please accept our investigation. Chief Tan glared fiercely at Deputy Director Shi. Old Shi, I really didn't expect that you, the most honest person for so many years, would be so insidious behind my back. You set a trap for me, right? Okay, let's wait and see. Director Tan, don't wrongly accuse a good person. Ha ha ha, Deputy Director Shi is only assisting me in my investigation. Isn't scolding him the same as scolding me? Director Du's words were neither warm nor angry. Director Du, please don't take it to heart. I really didn't mean to scold you. Chief Tan hurriedly explained, This matter, I just feel that a villain is plotting against me. Deputy Director Shi's temper was obviously not so easy to bully. He snorted coldly. If I wanted to report you, there are many things I could report you for. Why would I wait until now to use such a broken opportunity? Director Tan, on account of our relationship as colleagues, I've reminded you many times to pay attention to your style, but you've always ignored my words. If something happens, don't blame others. Think more about whether it's your own fault. After that, Deputy Director Shi handed the recording pen to Director Du of the Discipline Inspection and Supervision Group. Director Du, I still have things to do here. If there is anything I can help with, I will definitely do my best to help. But now, these bosses who are bidding for our affordable housing construction are here. I think it is not good to delay their time. It is indeed not good. I am sorry, everyone. Director Du smiled and said, Then you can continue. I will not disturb you. After that, Director Du glanced at Director Tan. Let's go. Let's go next door and have a good talk about your problem. Director Tan's heart was like dead ashes, but he could only force a smile and leave with Director Du. Huang Zhimo also slumped down. His backing was completely gone. This affordable housing project had also completely said goodbye to him. Yang Zhen's heart was bursting with joy. Huang Zhimo's bootlicking had completely hit the nail on the head. He was directly kicked to death. CEO Huang, CEO Huang, do you want to drink some water? You don't look too good. Yang Zhen added insult to injury. Why don't you go to the hospital quickly? Don't have any problems with your body. Although earning money is important, your body is the capital of revolution. Don't ruin your health because of earning money. Huang Zhimo resisted the trembling of his internal organs and replied with a smile. So Yang, don't be too happy too early. The one who laughs last is the winner. Did you hear that someone fired a gun outside just now? Who do you think did it? Haha. I have already asked my people to call the police. We don't know who is in bigger trouble yet. You. Yang Zhen gritted his teeth and didn't say another word. Indeed, the person who fired the gun was more likely to be Shirley. After all, he was the local tyrant. Deputy Bureau Chief Shi didn't want to listen to these two people's nonsense. He directly said to Tang Jiu, Miss Tang, I have seen the Tang Corporation's plan. You have even planned for 30% of the area to be green. It really surprised me. Yes, it's like this, Deputy Bureau Chief Shi. Now, we have to talk about the floor area ratio. Tang Jiu said confidently, the floor area ratio refers to the gross density of the building area. It refers to the ratio of the total floor area to the land area of a residential area. For us developers, the floor area ratio determines the proportion of the land cost of the building. For the residents, the floor area ratio directly affects the comfort level of their residence. Then what is the Tang Corporation's plan? Deputy Bureau Chief Shi continued. A good residential area should have a floor area ratio of no more than 5% for high-rise residential areas, no more than 3% for multi-story residential areas, and no less than 30% green space. However, due to the restriction of the land cost, not all projects can be done. Tang Jiu said, perhaps many people think that affordable housing is affordable housing, so there is no need to consider these. As long as it is livable and of good quality, it is fine. However, I don't think so. Why? Deputy Bureau Chief Shi was stunned. Even he considered that as long as it was livable and of good quality, it was fine. Tang Jiu said, because a perfect plan can take into account both the land cost and the comfort level of the residents. Affordable housing is a government project, so there is no need to consider the land cost. Therefore, I should consider the comfort level of the residents. Although my cost will be higher this way, it will allow the residents to live more comfortably. Good. Well said. Deputy Bureau Chief Shi clapped his hands. He took out the plans of Tang Jiu, Yang Zhen, and Huang Zhimo. Only Tang Jiu had considered this problem. What did this mean? It meant that the Tang Corporation was more attentive. It meant that the Tang Corporation was considering the benefits of the residents, not their own costs. Deputy Bureau Chief Shi had already decided who to give this project to. Chapter 1682. Deputy Director Shi, it's impossible for you to cooperate with me. If there's nothing else, I'll leave first. Huang Zhimo sneered with self-mockery. If I knew this, I wouldn't have wasted so much time on this project. Deputy Director Shi, you're too serious. It's just an affordable housing. Why do you have to check it out? Haha. Just treat it as me being a free bidder. Deputy Director Shi didn't have time to waste on Huang Zhimo. He just said two words lightly, I won't see you out. Huang Zhimo snorted and stood up unhappily. He called the two project managers and two assistants behind him and said, Let's go, Deputy Director Shi. Oh no, Director Tan, after this setback, you will be Director Shi from now on. Ha ha ha, Director Shi has asked us to leave. We'd better hurry up and leave. We'll be disgraced if we stay here. Just as Huang Zhimo was about to leave, the door of the conference room was knocked again. Please come in. Although Deputy Director Shi spoke politely, his brows were furrowed. Why was it so noisy today? A good bid was interrupted again and again. He was indeed a little disgusted. After all, it was disturbing and delaying his work. However, when a few policemen pushed the door open and entered, Deputy Director Scher's eyebrows instantly relaxed. Obviously, the police's visit must be important. Compared to this, Deputy Director Scher would of course put his own matters aside first. He quickly stood up. "Police comrade, you guys are?" The leading policeman could see that Deputy Director Scher was a leader. He also said politely, "Sorry to disturb your bid. You're Deputy Director Scher, right?" Yes. Deputy Director Scher nodded. "Then we're in the right place." The leading policeman said, "Today, there was a shooting in front of the intersection of your Housing and Urban Rural Development Bureau. I believe you heard the sound. According to the confession of the suspect, the mastermind behind the shooting is participating in the bid for affordable housing in Qingdao City. That's why I came here." Hearing this, Yang Zhan was stunned on the spot. No way. Was Sher Lei only capable of this? He only fired one shot and was arrested. And he even confessed that he was involved? In an instant, Yang Zhan's face turned ashen. His heart was filled with hatred and regret. Seeing Yang Zhan's stiff expression, Huang Zhima felt a lot better even though he had lost the bid. Chief Yang, you're in trouble. You're in big trouble. Ha ha ha, it seems that the final winner today is neither you nor me, but President Tang of the Tang Group. Yang Zhan's face flushed red, but he couldn't say a word. It was too late for regrets. Life is always full of ups and downs. It's inevitable to encounter all kinds of difficulties. However, as a man, you must hold on. Although Huang Zhima wasn't in a good mood, he still felt very good after getting his psychological balance. The leading policeman suddenly said to Huang Zhima, "You just said that this gentleman is President Yang and that lady is President Tang. So, you are President Huang Zhima?" Police comrade, I dare not call you Boss Huang. Just call me Old Huang. Nice to meet you. How do you know me?" Huang Zhima felt that his face was bright. If the police knew him, it meant that his reputation was not bad. The leading policeman said to the two young men behind him, "Okay, cuff him and take him away." Seeing the two young policemen cuff Huang Zhima's hands, the people behind Huang Zhima were dumbfounded. They didn't understand what was going on. Huang Zhima, who was cuffed, was also dumbfounded. He said to the leading policeman, "Police comrade, are you arresting me? I'm Huang Zhima, he's Yang Zhen. Are you mistaken?" Yang Zhen was also a little confused by what was happening. Why were Huang Zhima cuffed? "That's right. We're here to arrest you, Huang Zhima," the leading policeman said. "Just now, the suspect, Wang Qing, who fired the gun outside, has already said that he is a hitman you hired outside. As for his motive, it's not convenient for me to say it here. I believe everyone here knows. So, I won't waste everyone's time. Please come with me and explain the matter clearly." I. Huang Zhima was really breaking down. Was this Wang Qing an idiot? What kind of IQ was this? This place wasn't even his own territory, and he dared to open fire. Was his brain damaged by the door? And what right did he have to confess to him? What the F***ck was going on? He had already taken the money. Couldn't he betray the owner? This Wang Qing was too unscrupulous. "And the few of you, go with your boss and assist in the investigation." The leading policeman said, "As for you, I won't let them cuff you. After all, it's not good to walk out with this thing. You should cooperate and don't do anything irrational." The police had already spoken. Who dared to be rash? They obediently lowered their heads and followed behind Huang Zhima. Huang Zhima really wanted to cry. "Police comrade, listen to me. I don't know that Wang Qing. He must have wronged me. This underworld is sinister. Someone is deliberately framing me. Whether someone is framing you or not, you will know after you go back and do the investigation with us. the leading policeman said coldly. The leader of the police said coldly, "If you don't cooperate with our work, then you'll be punished even more." "I will cooperate. I am very willing to cooperate. Whatever you want me to do, I will do it." Huang Zhimo didn't dare to talk back. He sighed and was taken away by the police. "I'm sorry to disturb and trouble everyone," the leading policeman said before he left. Deputy Bureau Chief Shi was full of praise for this kind of behavior. "Society needs people like you to protect the people." On behalf of myself and my colleagues in the Bureau of Housing and Urban Rural Development, I thank you on behalf of the people of Qingdao. When dealing with such vicious criminals, you must punish them severely. Serving the people, of course. The leading policeman chuckled and left after saying that. Deputy Bureau Chief Shi was very emotional. There were many people like them in their circle. They served the people their whole lives. If all the officials, people in power, and government workers in Huaxia could be like them, he believed that Huaxia would be even more prosperous. Yang Zhan was drenched in cold sweat. He had even forgotten to mock Huang Zhimo before he was taken away. He had even scolded him indirectly and humiliated him. People like him deserve to be arrested. It's unfair competition, Yang Zhan said with a guilty conscience. As he spoke, he secretly glanced at Tang Jiu. He couldn't understand. Did Shi Lei not do anything? What was going on? He couldn't figure it out at all. However, Yang Zhan had arranged for his subordinates outside. He gave his assistant a look and the assistant immediately sent a message to ask about the situation outside. Soon, he received a reply saying that Shi Lei was shot. It was that Wang Qing who shot him. Yang Zhan couldn't believe it. Shi Lei was beaten up in his territory. Was there any justice in this world? That Wang Qing must be a hothead. Director Yang, I've looked through your proposal in detail. Deputy Bureau Chief Shi suddenly changed the topic. However, in terms of the area ratio, your consideration was not as thorough as Miss Tang's. Yes, I admit that my consideration of the area ratio was not thorough enough. However, I still feel that there is no need to consider such things for affordable housing. Yang Zhan said, Deputy Bureau Chief Shi, think about it. People who apply for affordable housing are people who can't afford to buy a house. Who would have the time to consider the area ratio? Who would have the time to care about whether there is greenery in the area? Don't you think so? Since it's affordable housing, I feel that it should be based on the benefits. You're tuning in to the Narrate and Escape YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.